well on our way to meet our goal of 500. Giving that Rutgers.edu, but that's earlier. Those are talks before.
What's up, Ken?
I'm having a good time.
tell.
I came on earlier this morning, kicked everything off with the 6 to 8 o'clock hour, but now we get to talk together on Rutgers Cooperative Extension and learn more from our director, Dr. Larry Katz, and let's talk extension.
Great, thanks. It's a pleasure to be here and really excited to participate in this first Giving Day. You know, the holiday season, people are wondering what to spend their money on, and we are it. So, yeah, thanks. I'm really happy to talk about our School of Environmental and Biological Sciences and Rutgers Cooperative Extension, because we really are Rutgers in your backyard. Our programs in agriculture and natural resources, youth development, community health and nutrition are delivering programs throughout New Jersey to communities every day. As I speak, our faculty are out there working with residents of New Jersey. Terrific programs, great impact on our families and communities. So I'm just thrilled to be a part of that group.
And so when you say across the state, what does that mean? That's just Newark, Camden.
Yes, and yes.
Okay.
So we have offices. We have Rutgers Cooperative Extension offices in every county. And out of each of those offices, so for example, in Newark for Essex County, and here in Middlesex County, we have offices in North Brunswick, and we have offices in Bridgewater for Somerset, et cetera, et cetera. So every county has an office where our faculty are located, and they're supported by the counties and by Rutgers, the state university, and their programs cover the full gamut of activities that people care about. Open space, food, health, youth development. That's who we are. That's our identity. 125 years of delivering these programs.
And these are delivered. These you say they're delivered in the communities. I mean, some of these programs are they could be in libraries, they could be in schools, they could be at the office. It's just not a dry office.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. We go where the people are. So we may be in a school, we may be in a YMCA, we may be in a community center of other sorts. We go where the people will assemble and where they're interested in our programs. Now, for some of the activities, they may come to our office. So you've got something funny happening to your shrubs or your bushes or your garden, and you're wondering, oh, what's this funny looking bug on here? You know, bring that into our office, and our experts will help identify and give you some good recommendations on what to do with that particular problem. You're wondering why you can't grow what you're trying to grow in your garden. Bring a soil sample, or come and talk to our people, and they'll tell you how to properly take that soil sample, and we'll give you the recommendations. So don't just run to the box stores right away. Come and talk to your extension professional first.
So this sounds a lot like a land grant mission. Is that what this is?
It's funny you should mention that.
Is this a land grant mission?
We are here at Rutgers, the land grant university, and what that means is that when this effort, the land grant universities, began 125 years ago, our mission was to take the information from the universities, from the scientists, the social scientists, the physical scientists, and develop programs so that we go out into the communities and we help people address their day-to-day problems. What are the solutions to the problems you're facing in your life? And we will try to bring the best peer-reviewed scientific approach to solving your problems. Don't go to Wikipedia, go to Rutgers Cooperative Extension.
Awesome. Wonderful program. I'm quite familiar with it.
Yeah, your program is pretty terrific too.
Yeah. Thank you. We have some fun with that, and we could talk a little bit about Team Gateway if you'd like.
I would.
And then I want to shift also talk about a couple other spotlights that you may think of. I know earlier in the day I'd spoken to Brian Adams, not the Brian Adams, but Brian Adams, an alum,
Okay.
Who is one of those service coordinators for the veterans program here at Rutgers, and
Right.
that veteran. And so that the western counties as well. But so Team Gateway, we've talked about it, and you may have seen some tweets. We've put out a bunch of things from the Yes Center,
Right.
and but we didn't get to I didn't get to talk about it earlier. And so just in brief, It's the sort of the urban youth development arm of Extension. It is for out of school dropout, court involved individuals who are seeking to get reengaged back in school, initially their high school diplomas,
Right.
and then ultimately either into higher education, whether it's a county school or four-year school. We'd love everyone to come to Rutgers, but our goal is about advancing their high school or their academic aspirations. And then the second part of that, and TEAM is an acronym, as you know, Transitional Education and Employment Management. So that second E, what we do is we work with individuals on their job skills, their resume writing, applications, our undergraduates get, but we cater it to their specific interests and then where they're looking for. So
This program is so impactful. All lives matter. There are no youth that we want to throw away. And so your programs bring these young people back into an environment where they feel safe, where they feel supported, and they start the learning process over again. Many of them need to sort of back up and sort of get caught up to where someone who's perhaps had a more advantaged early start in life may be. But what they see is this team of yours who pulls together, encourages them to continue learning, is supportive in every way, recognizes that many of them are coming with disadvantage in their educational background, and doesn't let that stop them from doing what needs to be done to give them that leg up. And then you couple that education piece with the opportunity to connect and interconnect with potential employers. This is a life-changing activity. So I thank you for what you do on that, my friend.
Not a problem. We it does take a team, and that team expands beyond just our current or our internal personnel. What's been amazing is all of our community partners. Down in Camden, we have Community Planning and Advocacy Council, CPAC. We have up in Newark, we have within our Rutgers family, the Cornwall Center. And I believe Dr. Roland Anglin was on earlier today talking about activities. And then Bob Johnson over at the medical school as part of our youth policy board in Newark with the city. The public schools have been an amazing partner of ours. Each of the public schools in our urban areas understand and want to figure out ways of re-engagement. And in fact, there was just an email I saw earlier from Senator Lesniak about the idea of creating these recovery or reentry high schools.
Excellent.
For out of school
Right.
and what we call overage and undercredited.
Right.
So it is a youth population that at times unfortunately is growing, and we're trying to combat that.
Right.
So this has been great, and so these partners like youth builds of different youth builds across the state. We have Isles in Trenton that's just real passionate, real community advocates for youth engagement, and so and many of our alumni, from social workers to criminal justice, work in these areas, and so it's that network, that sort of Yes Center, that youth support network, that's needed to actually to connect these two. So so I thank you for the support in that, but what we like to make sure is that all of our community
to take photos of my room, my studio.
They're so vital. You talk about our partners. The partnerships we have with community groups is the cornerstone of our ability to deliver programs in communities. Because how do you help a community? Community is a word, but community is a collection of people. And so how you reach people is by having individuals in that community who understand the needs of that community, who are dedicated to that community, who are willing to work with us and with other groups to deliver outstanding programs. And then assess the impact that we're having in those programs and use that assessment as a way to then continually improve that program, be more impactful, influence more people, help young people find better, high quality jobs, high paying jobs. And while doing that, get the message in there. Here are issues about food and about nutrition and about personal health, healthy lifestyles, decisions that you can make that will keep you and your family healthy. Huge impact, tremendous opportunity that we have with the partnerships across New Jersey.
So we've got a couple minutes left, and so what I'm thinking is is any other specific programs that you want to do a lightning round and just kind of shout out the things that you know have been doing awesome.
So we could do that, and certainly I'd want to say, look at some of the, think about local food, think about where your food comes from, think about buying local, because we have our agricultural community in New Jersey, a vibrant agricultural community producing the food that you want to eat, fresh vegetables, produce. Many of these are varieties that were developed by Rutgers breeders, our faculty, and so that's very exciting. A shout out to my colleagues in the School of Environmental and Biological Sciences for their commitment to undergraduate education and their commitment to advising students to help them get through this wonderful but huge organization called Rutgers University that we all love so much.
And your home department?
And my home department, thank you. The Department of Animal Sciences in SEBS houses the largest undergraduate major in the school, and our students are outstanding and getting positions. Many go on to vet school, many go into the pharmaceutical industries and other industries as well. Very, very proud of what we've been doing. Very proud of the last 27 years I've spent here at Rutgers. I love this place. I bleed scarlet red.
Scarlet forever, as we say. And then earlier you mentioned assessments and pay attention to what we do. I mean, this is what 4-H does, right? 4-H is critically always looking, redefining what they do and how they serve. And 4-H is different across the counties, right?
Yes. Yes. So in parts of New Jersey, our 4-H programs are focused on kids who are coming from a farm background, from a rural background. We look in counties, in our urban counties, and we see kids being engaged in after-school programs who had never understood anything about agriculture. That's not what it's about. It's about engagement with youth and having them really reach their potential, understand that they can do whatever they want with somebody in their corner helping them.
So let's talk about one of the cooler things.
Yeah.
So the more innovative things. So maker spaces, right? So there's a new thing that I know 4-H is just gotten some new initiatives and some dollars. So thank you for those who've supported it, whether it was individual or state related. Maker spaces and the creation of these innovative think tanks.
How to take ideas and make it three-dimensional. Go into a space and think outside the box, and then get your hands-on experience to try to build things, build ideas. Let your juices flow, your creative juices flow to create something new and to understand.
And these are inside. These are indoors and outdoors. Right?
These
so
are
4-H is outdoors too. It's an outdoor experience.
Absolutely. It's indoors where you need the equipment and the technology that may be indoors. It's outdoors to understand how to interact in nature, how to make this Garden State remain a viable, sustainable, pleasant place to live, healthy place to live.
Awesome. And with that. And I'll transition. I'm gonna give you the last numbers that are coming up. Okay, and so I'm looking at the numbers right now. We jumped over 100 since we've talked.
Nice.
Over 100
thank you.
since we talked, and almost 1,950 components. So that or total gifts. So keep it coming, keep it going.
So to my peeps out there, thank you very much.
That's right. The other thing on 4-H. So and this is one of those things that are self-sustaining, and I know are at times. You talk about impact. The 4-H camp. Talk a little bit about the 4-H camp, and then I think we'll circle back.
Okay.
We didn't hit the veterans program yet.
Okay, right, we didn't.
Yep.
So just real briefly, up in Sussex County, we have an outdoor camp that youth from all over the state come to. They spend their 1 week slots. You can do 1 week or multiple weeks, and their activities there are the full range that you would expect at a camp. But the add-on value of what you get at our 4-H camp is the connection to this broader mission of making a young person part of a community and understanding what it means to be part of a community.
Yeah, and I've been up there a couple of times, and what our Residence Life programs have been up
Yes.
there. So it's also a leadership training location. Right? It's not just about youth and summer camps.
Right.
Across the year, other units at Rutgers, if they want to participate, or even alumni and other agencies and businesses out in New Jersey, they can go up there and they can rent the place to have an outdoor learning experience.
It's outstanding space to be able to get away from the hustle and bustle of your everyday activity and really focus your energies on a particular goal. If you're developing leadership programs or looking for new an opportunity to bring a group together for strategic planning, it's an ideal location to get away from the outside world and focus on your programs.
Awesome. So let's shift back. Let's go back to the Veterans Program. And so this is a relatively new project.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Essex County,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes returning vets and does what?
So New Jersey has 500,000 veterans currently, which is a huge population,
Absolutely.
many of whom are unemployed or underemployed. And what we have been doing over the last several years is training them in the green industries, so in landscaping areas. And what we have done even more recently within the past year is build on that training in the green industries and developed a facility where we're growing vegetables and hydroponic capacity with water. But the exciting piece to that is that the water is part of an aquaculture program. So the fish are being raised, and then the water from the fish tanks are used for growing the herbs.
Yep.
And these veterans are learning this business, the biology, the business management from the ground up. Terrific program. I'm very excited about what's happening there. So more to come on that. We hope to replicate this in other places besides Newark as well.
What I saw there and what we talked about earlier today when we were on was the experience, right? So the Rutgers experience. It's more than just the academic,
Yes.
it's more than just the content, more than just your students in the animal science classes.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the experience, the feeling, and I'm looking, actually, we've got a call-in. We've got a call-in person here.
Nice.
I've got a call-in person here live on Rutgers Giving Day. How can I help you here? Oh, it's Mike Green, Director of Communications. He's telling me to turn sideways. All right, Mike, good job. So if you go into giving.rutgers.edu, we'll take your contribution. You could be number 2,000.
Thank
If
you,
Mike
Mike.
Green, you sign in right now. Don't give me none of this call-in stuff. You got it there, mate? It's our Australian guy.
Yeah, very good.
Fun guy. It's been bothering me all day.
As good.
But so
yes,
the experience.
what we're trying to do is give them basically the Rutgers experience in this offsite location, so that they become a part of our Rutgers family in learning this important green area, which is critical. Again, New Jersey, we want to keep open space. We want healthy air, healthy water, healthy soils, and the focus of many of our faculty are in that area, and they can take that information, work with these veterans, and give these veterans the opportunity to understand the complexity and the interaction of these systems, and do so in an environment where they are part of Big Red R.
Wonderful. And we've been there and we've seen it, and it's been great. And so I look back to this map here, this big picture. I got sports, I've got magnets, we've got frisbees, and then we have Newark, we have Camden, RBHS, and again, we try not to use too many acronyms when we're talking to the rest of the world. So that's Rutgers Biomedical and Health Sciences. That's what that stands for. And then we have Rutgers New Brunswick. And so let's shift gears for a second to New Brunswick. Tell us about the New Brunswick Farmers Market. Tell us about that partnership.
Yes.
And because you're talking about healthy eating and healthy food
yes.
decisions, and I'm sure you're going to talk a little bit about food deserts and things.
Indeed.
So tell us about that.
So a number of years ago, we all recognized that a unique problem that New Brunswick was facing, as well as other cities in New Jersey and elsewhere in the country, is lack of access to healthy, fresh produce. Many of the stores, there were not very many big grocery stores. Many of the small local bodegas couldn't really justify keeping fresh produce in place. So working with support from our friends at Johnson & Johnson and with the city of New Brunswick, we established what we call the New Brunswick Community Farmers Market. Okay. And at this market, we have local farmers who come to the site, located just off of our campus on the border between New Brunswick and North Brunswick, off Georges Road. And that fresh, that farmer's market provides this fresh food for the neighborhood there, an interesting transitional neighborhood. And what I'm really excited about, not only is that it's bringing this great fresh produce to these communities, but it's opening the door to our campus to the communities. And so it serves as a portal for members of residents of New Brunswick to get to know some of the faculty and staff of our school, to feel comfortable talking with us, to not feel that this town and gown separation has to exist, that there should be no separation between the university and the community. We are in your community. We are part of your community. We live here. We work here. We eat here, and we can do some exciting things together, using food as that focal point, as that attraction point. So the food started it, but we have youth gardens located there. We have health education programs. We have health screening activities going on there. It's just turned out to be a terrific opportunity.
This is a wonderful situation, or a wonderful collaboration. Food clearly brings us together.
Yes.
Music often brings us together as
Yes.
well. We've all eaten a lot in the last 5 days, so it is definitely a gathering. But I'm told that we're good for the next segment, Shirley.
I was going to try and get you in with Newark because
Yep.
we might try to flip them, but I just lost them on the feed.
All right. So as we're looking at, I'm going to stretch over here and get one more thing. And I realized two things. I realized I didn't do it this morning. And this is a shout out, another shout out to our Leather Winners Association, all of our fellow leather winners. You heard earlier this morning that I was a former Rutgers mascot, but we just recently started the Varsity R Association, and so this is our logo, and
Nice, very nice.
it's exclusive swag that we have. Maybe I'll put one up on the wall. But there's another thing, and maybe this was why Mike Green.
Yeah.
Mike Green was probably calling you and saying, "Hey, we got to make sure that you don't forget." We talked about Rutgers 250; it's everywhere there. But real brief. This is a new magazine that just came out.
That's right. So from the School of Environmental and Biological Sciences, we want you to know about our programs and what we've been doing. And so our inaugural edition is celebrating Rutgers 250. And throughout this magazine, you'll see a number of our faculty, past and present, and their projects highlighted. And as you go through this, you'll see fantastic stories about the activities that we're doing. And on the cover of this small picture is Selma Waxman, and a nice picture of him here on the inside.
Yep.
The scientist, Nobel Prize winner, responsible for the discovery of streptomycin along with his research team. Probably one of the most instrumental life-saving discoveries of any generation. And so we're very proud that he was part of our university.
Yep. Absolutely. And then there's alumni in there. I think there's a nice spread on Kate Sweeney, who's alumni and a
Yes.
great advocate for all things that happen here at
By all
Rutgers.
means.
So let me give you the updates.
Yes, go ahead,
Yep.
please.
The current updates on numbers. We have, let me reset here. Again, it's you're going to givingday.rutgers.edu. There's 8 hours, 48 minutes, and 56, 55, 54 seconds. And it looks like we just topped 2,900 total gifts. 2,900 total gifts coming in. There's something going on here.
Okay, I like
We're
it.
bringing in
Keep
dozens
coming.
at a time here.
Keep clicking, my friend.
And is this correct? This is correct. Wait a second. This is early breaking news. Before we started the event,
Yes.
we were in the 360s.
Right.
Our goal for the entire day
Yes.
was 500,000.
Yes.
Dr. Larry Katz, here at Rutgers Cooperative Extension, Ken Carmichael, Team Gateway, and all craziness for the last 25 years.
We hit it.
I would like to share with you, all you giving fans out there, not only did we hit it, and this doesn't mean the day's over. Trust me, we're going to continue. We're going off the charts. I believe I was just asked, I was told our executive producer over here told us that I might be coming back later tonight to close out at midnight. 642,190. All right. RCE helps bring it over the
There we
hump.
go. Thank you, folks.
There's a ton of events going on at each of your campuses. There are a ton of, and let me reset this.
2,900?
2,900, but let me see if I get that right. There's still a lot of activity. So when you go into the website, you'll see there's these challenges that are happening at your individual campuses. There's challenges happening within departments. There's matches that are going on. There's gifts to give away. I tweeted out if you support the Yes Center and Team Gateway, every fifth giver gets a surprise gift. And let me Larry will tell you, Dr. Katz, Larry will tell you, we've got some really cool things that we give away. So keep it going all day.
That's great.
2,914, 642, 214. We're just getting started, folks. Alumni, students. Earlier this morning, I said at 6:30, I said, "Oh, students are getting ready to go to class." It's a little ahead of myself. It's 3:15. Students are now getting ready to go to class.
They're just waking up. Get some breakfast. Go to class.
Yep. So wonderful time. All right, we're getting prizes thrown out. We would like to give to you our illustrious swag gift for participating today. The I Love Rutgers alumni see-through visor. These are not binocular. I can. Here's your pair.
Yes,
this is not. Let's put
Okay.
these on.
Do I get X-ray vision?
You do. Wow, look. I get the exam answers now. This is all crazy stuff.
Okay, that's great.
Throw your pair
Thank
on
you.
there.
Yes.
These are a little dizzy. For those of you, and I know some of you, the executive producer right now has
Oh,
been
yeah.
up since
Woo.
4,000
Wow,
hours.
It's like the 1960s all over again.
Yeah, I can't. I was 72, so I have to stop on that
Thank
day.
you. This is very nice.
But there's a lot of people behind the scenes that I'm not. It's not part of my script that I'm throwing. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that have put this together. They're out there on the phones. They're out there and on the computer, on the web land. There's a special lady in the room today who not only is she helping lead and coordinate and facilitate the near 100. I think we have about 100 different interviews and guests that are combined between this, and maybe more when you talk about the group sizes over 24 hours. It's a birthday girl, and so
Yay,
I would
Mark.
spin the camera around, but then I'll mess up everything on there.
That's all right.
But shout out. Let me hear you in the background.
Oh, happy birthday.
And let me put this on camera while we're here.
So while he's gone, no,
There it is. Can you see everyone? How's it looking on camera there? Here you go. Associate Vice President Barbara Thurman, keeping us on track, keeping us together, keeping the energy up. We've got healthy snacks. We've got
Hey, one more thing.
healthy
Let me
coffee.
jump in here. Because we got wintertime rolling
Yes.
in, and everybody's going to be, thinking about how cold it is. So I want you to be thinking about the summertime coming up in 2016. Of course, throughout the year, we're continuing to celebrate Rutgers 250. And this summer, in every county where we have fairs, which is every county, we have our summer 4-H and ag fairs. I want you to go to the fair, and I want you to look for the Rutgers 250 booth, and where we'll also be giving out some cool swag. Maybe you get a pair of glasses like I have too.
Yep. It's going to be a long
We gotta
time.
get this moving.
All right. Next up, we have a transition. We hit our target. We're going to
Thank
keep
you all.
growing from there. And we have, is this accurate? Is this the new dean? The new dean from Robert Wood Johnson Medical School is coming in to share her view and her vision of RW Medical School. Dr. Johnson was on earlier today. Come on in. Let's swap out. And we're going to leave you a great magazine from School of Environmental and Biological Sciences. And we have, is this accurate? Is it the new dean? The new dean from Robert Wood Johnson Medical School is coming in.
There we go. Oh, go ahead. Diane, you're allowed.
There must have been somebody here from.
See you later.
So I'd like to welcome you here today. My name is Denise Gavala. I'm Associate Vice President for RBHS for Development with the Foundation. And it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Shireen Gabriel. Dr. Gabriel is the Dean of Robert Wood Johnson Medical School. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got here? I know you're fairly new.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you very much. It's really my pleasure to be here and to join you on this special day. Well, I got here because I during the interview process, I was really inspired by the people who I met here at Robert Wood Johnson Medical School. The faculty in particular were just so passionate. They were passionate about the work that they do with patients, the work that they do in teaching students. and their research. And it was just an inspiring place, and I wanted to be a part of it.
That's great. We're so happy to have you. What makes Robert Wood Johnson Medical School special?
Well, I think that it really does come down to the people. And as I said, the people who are so passionate about what they do. And also, one of the things that I thought was quite unique here is an authentic commitment to the community. Again, whether they're caring for patients or educating students or doing their research, there really seemed to be a connection and a commitment to community here that isn't so common. And also, of course, to promoting diversity, that sort of goes along with it.
Can you tell us just a little bit about the Eric B. Chandler Health Center, because you mentioned community and what that does for the community?
Well, the Eric B. Chandler Health Center is really a unique facility. It's been part of the medical school for many, many years. There are very few medical schools in the country that really have a federally qualified health center that is there to serve the community and to educate students. And it's a wonderful example of our commitment, our medical school's commitment to reaching out to the community with high quality health care.
So I'm just going to change the topic a little bit and talk about philanthropy. I mean, we know how important philanthropy is to RBHS, to Rutgers University, and to the medical school. So why and how is philanthropy important for you to achieve the goals for Robert Wood?
So philanthropy is really absolutely essential for the continued success and even survival of a medical school like ours. It helps us sustain new thinking, out of the box thinking, if you will, whether it comes to whether it relates to new ideas to deliver care in our healthcare mission, new ideas to teach students, opportunities to bring students in that might not otherwise have the opportunity to go to medical school, really an opportunity to help us recruit the best and the brightest. And to do our research, and those are the three missions that the medical school thrives on, and philanthropy is absolutely essential to each one.
So the one, besides research and clinical care, the one thing that we're here for is our students, especially our medical students. To walk in the hallways and to see these students so happy and so proud to be here. What sets our students from anyone else? What makes them different, and what are they trying to accomplish?
Well, and I think what makes them different is the reason the kinds of students that are attracted to our medical school are really the same kinds of folks that we attract to the faculty. So again, we see this passion in our medical students. And I think when they come and interview, they kind of hear it and see it in the hallways, and that's what attracts them to being here. They're a very diverse student body, and we're proud of the diversity that we attract among our students. And that's, again, because they see that commitment among the faculty, and they see that commitment throughout the medical school. So I think what differentiates our students is come with that desire to serve their communities. They come with that commitment to serve the community, and with the diversity of the student body. I think those things are unique, and philanthropy helps us sustain them.
I agree. I think total, the medical school has close to 600 students, which is wonderful, and the incoming class was 170. So that's great.
190.
190.
Yeah, and we're hoping to keep it at that level.
So just to reach back to talk about philanthropy again and how important it is, and talk about our students and our funding, I'm very happy and I'm very proud to introduce Patty Hansen. Patty Hansen is our Director of Marketing and Communications at Robert Wood, and she wants to take a minute to talk to you very quickly.
Great.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Dr. Gabriel. I'm so thrilled to be here today. It's one of the best days of the year, in addition to being Giving Day. On behalf of the Tara Hansen Foundation, it really is my honor and my privilege to give you this check on Giving Day. It's for an endowed scholarship for a student at Rutgers Robert Wood Johnson Medical School. to get a scholarship each and every year. In OBGYN, a 3rd or 4th year student will be selected by the school. And again, it's just my honor on behalf of the Tara Hansen Foundation, my family, especially my son, to give this to you today.
Well, thank you very much. It's extremely generous of you. You give so much already of your time and effort, and this is really wonderful. So my thanks to you and to your family for giving so much.
Well, you're very welcome. Also being an alum here, also both of my sons are Rutgers University alums, makes it very special. But in addition, working here, I know the quality of education that goes on here, the quality of the patient care and the research and the care that we give the community that you spoke about earlier. And I'm just proud to be a part of this. So it really is our honor.
This is just a perfect example of the kinds of commitment and personal connection that people in our community have to our medical school. So thank you. Thanks
Thank
again.
you. Thanks.
You know, what do you need?
Oh, I gotta show my ticket. Let's give it. Actually, I'm giving it away. So you,
Oh, yeah.
Denise, you want to join us too? There you go.
So on behalf of the foundation and Rutgers Giving Day, I want to thank you both, and thank you, Patty. I know how much this means to you. So thank you both for coming here. Thank you, Dr. Gabriel. It was wonderful to hear you about the students, about philanthropy, and we appreciate all of your support. Thank you.
Great.
Thanks, everybody.
Will, take it away. We're gonna head to Newark. Thank you.
Thanks.
We're good.
Take a couple outside.
Well, I just announced them. We're gonna head right to Newark.
Perfect. Hello, everybody. My name is Will Jones. I'm with University Career Services. And for the next 2.5 hours, I will be your VJ, so to speak, for our next pair of interviews. I am extremely excited because now we have the opportunity to hear from actual students who are going through an amazing experience through the International Leadership Exchange Program in Tanzania. So I want to introduce, is it Madeline Ramos and Whitney Perez, who are over at Newark right now.
Hello. Hi,
So-
Will. How are you?
I'm good. Are you able to hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. So I'm actually looking forward to this interview because in University Career Services, we're all about experiential learning, and we understand the importance from an employer's perspective, what you're bringing to the table with the experiences that you're having. So I'm excited to actually talk with you guys today. So we have about 10 minutes, and I have about 4 questions here that I want to give you both the opportunity to kind of respond to. So the first one is, I learned that both of you are participating in the International Leadership Exchange Program in Tanzania. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience?
So Tanzania is part of the Office of the Dean of Student Life. It's an international leadership exchange program that both Whitney and I have participated in, and Whitney participated in it last year, 2014, and I was able to do it this year, 2015. So Whitney can start off with her experience.
Yeah, so first, we actually did a couple things. It's a very rigorous program. One of the first things we were able to do was go to like a local school, a high school, and it was in Arusha town, and we were able to like paint some of the rooms and plant trees, and I bonded with the students. Like that inspired me so much. I kind of am inspired to go back and maybe want to teach there, to be honest.
I think what's great is that with Whitney's group, we were able to see their projects the year after. So we were able to see the trees that they planted at site at the school, and we were also able to see the classrooms that they painted. So our group this year, we were able to take these projects to another level and install a solar suitcase panel at the school, which actually has never had electricity in its existence. So here at this school, it actually is $10 a year for a student to go to school, and for us to provide the electricity to these students completely changed the academic curriculum, the environment, and the positive vibes there. And
I'm sorry, did you say $10 a year for energy?
it's $10 a year for a student to go to school, like their tuition.
Yeah, it's
Oh, wow.
like a high school. Think of like a secondary school. It's called.
Yeah, so that
Okay.
was the first project that we did. And then the second project, which is extremely distinctive of the Tanzania ILE, we were able to go to Maasai Land, which is an indigenous area in the areas of Tanzania and Kenya.
It's on the border.
Yeah, that is home to the Maasai people, which are indigenous people and their warrior tribes. So what did you guys do the year before we went?
We were able to like experience, they just kind of walked us around and they kind of explained the different hardships that they're experiencing. For instance, they have a lack of source for water. And I just think that it was just like a humbling experience to kind of know that we take so much for granted here. And they also actually, they did like this ritual for us. It was really cool, I think.
Yeah, so
That is very cool.
yeah,
It's amazing some of the things that we take for granted in the States. I mean, you're talking about $10 a year can send a student to school for an entire year. I just gave $20 at Giving Day for Giving Day, and just imagine how many people that can impact if everyone did something similar.
Yeah, exactly. So when we were in Maasai Land, just imagine you're in nature, you're walking on volcanic ash, and all you see are trees and shrubs for miles and miles on end. And we actually walked around the Maasai Land with the governor of the town, and we were able to see their day-to-day activities. There were young girls who were probably like teenagers, preteens, who walk miles to go to these watering holes, which are actually filled with brown water. So this brown water they use for cooking, they use for drinking, and they use it to wash their animals and wash themselves. And like Whitney said, it's a humbling experience to see that these things are actually going on right now as we speak.
I actually want to add one more thing. We also were able to visit a university, and that was one of the most humbling experiences for me as well, because we went to the library, and the library, the rows of books the shelves weren't even full, and in order for them to get their books for classes, they have to either share or rent a book. Like they can't even buy. And I think just little things like that we take for granted, that we have a library full of books, and they have this one little room, and it's their whole library that they have to share pretty much. So
Wow.
I mean, I think it's interesting because a lot of students go into these international leadership programs and service programs thinking that, oh, we're going to come out and help and give. But what you don't realize is at the end of the day, you actually take back a lot more. And we realize just because somebody doesn't have as much tangible things for you, they have a lot of them inside that they can share with you to impact your life now and moving forward.
So what would you say, you mentioned some of the takeaways, what would you say are some of the key takeaways that you took away from Tanzania, and how would you apply them to your campus and your local communities?
Well, I think one of the major things that I was able to take away is that it's not all about me. And although I was never quite selfish, I realized that just simply saying to someone, giving doesn't necessarily mean literally giving someone something physical. It can be being passionate about something. Going to someone, say, are you having a good day? What can I do to help you? Sharing a smile with someone. I think that's one of the greatest things, just sharing your stories with someone. It's about walking on the street, especially from being in Newark, being with the community as a university. One of the things that you can do is just simply walk past someone who may be laying on the street and not go run across the street. Just simply keep on walking. I learned that we're no better than anybody just because we're Americans. Yeah. That's one of the things that I really was able to take away.
Yeah. And I think on top of that, one of the key themes that Dean Walton brought up while we were at a trip in Tanzania is asking us, what is your legacy and how will you leave your legacy? And he asked that on the first day in Tanzania. And for me, that's something I ask myself every single day. I've been here at Rutgers Newark for the past 5 years. And I feel like I've left so many marks on this campus in different areas. But just because you left marks doesn't necessarily mean you're leaving a legacy. And Tanzania has allowed me to realize that just because you do something doesn't mean it should be over. Tanzania was the beginning of a journey for the both of us and for all the other participants in the program.
Great. Well, we want to switch over to a quick 30-second wrap up. So I have a quick question for both of you. If you had one opportunity to convince a student to participate in the Tanzania ILE program, what would you say to them?
All right, so one thing I would say is that the first step that you can do is just ask around. See if those opportunities are available, and if they are, don't let the money discourage you. Don't let the cost of a program discourage you, because there are so many resources available. And I feel for me, giving is a way for me to give back. I get way more out of helping people in those communities than doing something for myself.
Exactly. Just if you find something inside of you where you feel like there's something calling you to do something greater than yourself, you should never let anything or any opportunity get past you, whether it be money or people's disapproval. If you know it yourself in your heart that you're meant to do something, then might as well do it.
Yeah, one thing I always say, money comes and goes, but the effort and energy and experience that you get abroad doesn't compare. I mean, the money doesn't compare to those experiences.
That's an amazing. The two of you really represent Rutgers University really well, and I am excited to say that I work here with students, and I work for students just like yourself, because it sounds like you're doing amazing things as well. But I want to thank you both for spending time with us.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. I just want to give you a quick update on the numbers. Looks like we just passed the 3,000 total gift number, which is amazing. I want to talk about the total amount raised though. Over $646,000 have been raised as part of Rutgers Giving Day. So I want to thank everyone out there who is contributing to multiple different causes here at Rutgers University, because it really is going to go a long way to helping support our students and the work that we do here at Rutgers. I want to go ahead and introduce to you our next speaker. His name is James Swinson. He works for the School of Arts and Sciences, who I'm actually excited to let you know that currently you're number 3 in the leaderboard for New Brunswick. So all of those SAS students and alumni out there, definitely start giving to some of your best causes that are related to the School of Arts and Sciences, and I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. So my name is Jimmy Swenson. I'm the Dean of Humanities in the School of Arts and Sciences. I'm a French professor originally, a specialist in 18th century intellectual history. So I work on the political thinkers who inspired the French and American revolutions, is my scholarly work. And now as Dean of Humanities, a lot of the very strongest departments at Rutgers, including English, history, and philosophy, as well as the foreign language departments, art history, linguistics, religion, and similar departments report to me. And I'm here to talk today about the new academic building which we're putting up. This is a really, really exciting opportunity for us. It's the first time that we've had a new academic building as opposed to a dorm or a student services building on College Avenue in, I think, almost 50 years. I think that Scott Hall went up in the mid-60s, and that was the last time we had a new academic building. So this academic building is going to be on the end of Voorhees Mall, so that there will be a continuous plaza that will run from Old Queens through the gate, down Voorhees Mall, past the statue of William the Silent, and then in between the two wings of this new building. And I think it's going to really, really make that part of the campus a center of student life again. The Honors College, which is right next door to it, is already doing that to a large extent, but the new academic building will do that even more. This new academic building is going to totally transform our ability to deliver a 21st century education to our students. It is going to be a very, very big classroom building. I think that there are about 2,000 seats in it. So that means in the first place that we're going to have 5 300-seat lecture halls, which is something that we've been needing very, very badly here. It means that students are almost are much less likely to have to wait for their most popular courses, for the sort of econ and psych and general chemistry courses that we teach in very, very large lecture halls, and that we need to make sure that we can offer as many seats as possible in these courses to be able to offer them to all the students who want them. One of the other main things that we'll be able to do is that we'll be able to have those 2,000 seats full and to have every student in the building logged into their laptop. We'll have a Wi-Fi capacity that will allow us to have everybody working in a connected fashion while in class, which we think is really exciting. Along with the lecture halls in particular, we're going to have a couple of new classrooms that are called active learning classrooms. They are big enough to seat 120 people if you put seats in rows, but I think the way they'll be set up, they'll probably seat more like 75. And the students will work collaboratively around tables and will be able to push the work that each of the students is doing up to video boards ringing the walls, so that the teacher will be able to work with large numbers of groups of students who are themselves working cooperatively with other students. We think that there are a lot of areas that this is going to really, really be an exciting transformation to the way that students learn and interact with professors and interact with each other, and that it's going to be very, very exciting. One of the other things that we have is we're going to be able to bring a lot of the departments that report to me, and this is why I'm the one who's here, so that all of the foreign language departments, or almost all of the foreign language departments, French, German, Spanish, Italian, classics, African, Middle Eastern, and South Asian languages, I think that's it, are going to have their offices in the new building. At the moment, they're spread out all over campus. They're in little old houses that are very expensive for us to keep up and are not particularly efficient in a whole variety of ways, and we're going to be able to bring all of these departments together in a way that will allow them to cooperate and allow students who are working in the languages, in European cultures, in African and Middle Eastern and South Asian cultures, to be able to collaborate with one another and to really see these programs at the center of our campus learning experience. They're going to be beautiful offices. If you want to take a look at the site, you should go to a website that is rutgersfuturebydevco.org. And if you go to that site, you'll be able to see a live camera shot of the new building. It's a rainy day today in New Brunswick, so you'll mostly see the gray skies that we have, but you'll be able to see both the current state of construction and the some drawings of what we expect it to look like ultimately. And I think it's going to be a really beautiful building that will make a huge impact on campus life, and in particular on the way that we deliver education to students. And so I guess the other thing that I'd say is that we have, as you've noticed, the building doesn't really have a name. I refer to it as the new academic building. So we have a lot of naming opportunities involved here. And if you want to see your name in lights, either for the building as a whole, which would be really in lights, or for a lot of important spaces for students and faculty within the building, you should send me an email. My email is humanitiesdean@sas.rutgers.edu. So you don't need to remember my name, it's just humanitiesdean. And we'd be happy to talk, because there's a lot of really great opportunities and a lot of chance to really have an impact. We'd be looking to name spaces, but the building is basically paid for. What we need to do is to have to build out the academic programming, and that we'll be able to deliver in it. So I think that that's a really, really exciting opportunity. And the final thing I'll say is that it's being built by DevCo, which is the New Brunswick Public-Private Development Partnership that we've done a lot of work with here in New Brunswick. And they do great work, and they build fast and they build on time. So if you've been to New Brunswick recently, you've seen a lot of new buildings that they've put up. We fully expect for this building to be ready for the beginning of next academic year, because New Brunswick is, because DevCo is that kind of builder. They get things done on time. So we're really looking forward to seeing the building come online, and we think it will have a really transformative impact on education here in New Brunswick. We're very excited. Thank you.
That was perfect. I have to admit, I see the new building being constructed from my office window, and it is massive. So you definitely want your name on that building. But there's a lot of opportunities for students. So thank you, Jim.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good evening.
Okay.
And this just in, as Jim was speaking, we literally had 50 additional gifts come in for Giving Day. So if you haven't done so already, head on over to givingday.rutgers.edu. Our current total amount of money raised is $649,000, almost $650,000. So hopefully before this next segment is over, we can get to $650,000 total. But let me just tell you, undergraduate research is so important here at Rutgers University, and I can tell you from an employer relations standpoint, working in career services, it's something that employers truly do value, especially if you want to work in a lab environment or in the medical field and so forth. So I have the honor to transition over to our friends over at Camden, Julie and Laura, who are going to talk a little bit more about undergraduate research opportunities.
They are muted. You asked them to unmute.
Can you guys hear me? Can you unmute your...
Yeah, can you guys hear us now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Terrific. So we are back in Camden again after a little break. And I have with me two Rutgers alumna from here, Rutgers University Camden. And directly to my left is Laura Collins. She is an assistant dean with the Honors College, and she did a lot of research as an undergrad and a graduate student, so she'll be speaking about that. And my far left is Julie Runzinski, who is a program assistant dean now of the Arts and Sciences, and she oversees the program called CIRCA, which she will speak about, that focuses on undergraduate research. So provide some background information on both of you, your experience as a Rutgers student when you're here, and what it ultimately means to work for your alma mater, and then we'll move on to some other questions about research.
Okay. I'll go ahead and get started. Sure. So my name is Julie Runzinski, and I received my MFA here at the Graduate School Camden back in 2013. So I had started working here in 2006 after I graduated from college, and it was kind of a happy accident that led me here. And my mom and my uncle are alumni, actually, and my grandmother worked for the Rutgers Law Library, so we're kind of a Rutgers Camden family. And so yeah, I received my degree, and the reason I received it is because I was working here and I was, found the opportunity, had tuition remission, so I'm very grateful. Rutgers Camden has given me a lot for sure. And, and so I work for the Arts and Sciences Dean's Office as well.
So I'm Laura Collins, and I am a graduate of Rutgers University Camden. I was a student in the Honors College. I graduated in 2008, and during that time I did a lot of undergraduate research, which I'll speak about. But I loved Rutgers so much that I stayed and I completed my master's in psychology in 2010. And then I have never left. I have been working for the Honors College since I was in graduate school. And in 2013, I became the assistant dean and primary academic advisor for our unit.
Terrific. And Julie, why don't you start and speak about CIRCA, what exactly is CIRCA, the acronym, and discuss exactly the program here at Rutgers Camden.
Sure. So CIRCA stands for the Celebration of Undergraduate Research and Creative Activity. The program started in, I believe, 2005. So we're entering our 11th year, 2016. And it's a fantastic opportunity for students to showcase what they've been working on in the past academic year. And it's for all the disciplines. So we have really from art to zoology, cover A to Z in terms of what is represented at Circa. So in the past, it's been just a one free period. So it's an hour that allows students to kind of explain to the community at large what they've been working on. This year, we're still in finalizing details. It's going to be a larger event. We really want to be able to show their work is so amazing. We want to give them more of an opportunity to talk about what they've done. So students have the opportunity through their classes. Sometimes they do the research through their classes. Sometimes it's just independent work that they happen to be passionate about. And so we've had great success in terms of the participation numbers. Last year we had like 65 projects, but a lot of them were team projects. So we have like over 100 students annually participate in this event. And their research, a lot of times they present not just at Circa, but at international conferences even. This past summer, we had 2 computer science and physics students who presented their work in Australia, and they received a Best Overall Poster Award there. So, so even though Circa is kind of a small example of the research, it really spans the globe. Sure.
So can you give a couple of examples of the type of research that some of these students are doing, so the audience can familiarize themselves with it?
Sure. So from last year, I'll take a couple examples. One class had a research project which was based out of Piles Road, New Jersey. So one of our part-time lecturers, Kimberly Moran, is a forensic archaeologist, and she had a class that the students would go down to this site in Piles Grove and they would dig. And so they did an actual archaeological dig to look for like Native American artifacts, things like that, because they had to see what they could find to see if the site would qualify to be on the National Historic Register. So it did, actually. They found a lot of stuff. So they were able to present their findings at Circa. So that's one example. So that was a class-based research project. We've also had students just independently work with professors. Trying to think of some good ones. We've had, I can talk about the students from Australia. So they are doing something with laser ablation. I was an English major, so physics, so I can't say I can get into details, but they work with Dr. Jamie Bubb of the physics department and Dr. Eric Klein of the biology department, and they did something involving laser ablation and gold, silver, and copper. I know those words, so anyway. Wow. So this was just an independent project that they were interested in, and they were working with these professors, and the professors encouraged the students to apply to these different conferences. They were accepted at this one in Australia. So obviously Australia is far away, so they were able to apply for grant funding, conference travel fundings to help support the cost of things like plane fare, which is obviously going to be expensive. So they were able to go to Australia and present and won an award, which clearly is going to help their resume and for whatever they wish to do after they graduate from here. And so that's kind of some of the examples of work students have done.
Great. And Laura, I know since we've worked together for many years now, and I know everything about you. Can you talk about the research that you've done as an undergrad and a graduate student as well?
Yeah, so listening to Julie is kind of like a walk down memory lane for me, because I've had the opportunity as a student here to do so much of what you're describing. My experience is unique, and it's fun today to be in this position as the Assistant Dean of the Honors College, because 10 years ago I was a student in the Honors College, and the opportunities that I had, I think, largely came from that small environment, which you'll find on our campus generally, but even more so in our small unit. I met my faculty mentor in an Honors College seminar my very first semester, and I really feel like that has propelled everything for me. But I had the opportunity to work on undergraduate research projects for my second semester on this campus. So I was a first-year student, 18 years old, and I had an opportunity to begin working on a research project. And so I took an interest in what my faculty mentor was researching, and he took an interest in me. And I think that that's something I see now in this position so often, that our students form those connections, those bonds, and it really does become about the relationship that you have with your faculty member. And through those opportunities, not only did I get to present here on our campus, but like you mentioned, I've presented internationally. I traveled to Mexico, and I was supported by a scholarship from the dean's office. At that time, I was also supported by a scholarship to do research here on our campus, collecting materials, and then also traveling to other locations as well. And so it was really important to have those experiences. And again, today, as in my position, now I'm able to tell students about those opportunities and really help them seek out those opportunities for themselves, those connections with their faculty mentors, and to be involved in undergraduate research.
So you mentioned with the Honors College how it enables these students to be able to do research.
Yes.
Talk about how students here are able to find faculty members. As you mentioned, Laura, your second semester as a freshman, you were able to begin research with a world-class faculty member, a researcher at a world-class institution. Not many universities and students can say that. How do students go about navigating that? Is it easy? Is it difficult? Or can any student do that here?
I believe that any student can do it. I think that it's extremely accessible for our students. One of the really nice things that Rutgers does is we employ students who have come through our system, and I know that sometimes sounds a little funny, but we raise our future leaders right here at Rutgers and across all 3 campuses. And so those opportunities, there are things that we've experienced ourselves and we can speak to firsthand. And so I'm able to share with students all the time my story and how it has benefited me and people around me that I've seen it benefit. And I know that you're both examples of that. And so I think it's extremely accessible. In our unit in particular, we spend a lot of time doing academic advising, but it's so much more than just academic advising. We begin meeting with high school students while they're still finishing up their senior year, and we can share those opportunities. So if I know from day one that a student is where they want to go and what they're looking to have on that resume, I can tell them, you're going to be a wonderful fit for Dr. Bub or, Dr. Charlotte Markey in psychology, or whoever it is, wherever their interest lies. We know the faculty so well because we're a small campus and we've been here for a long time and we care, so we can give that information. So I think it's something that a lot of our students can get involved in and do.
Yeah, and I agree. And Julie, feel free to add on, but at the end also, can you talk about the application process for CIRCA? Is it open application? Is there a review process? How many applications do you see versus how many students are able to present at CIRCA?
Sure. So yeah, I'll just second what Laura said. I think it's totally something that's open to all students who are interested. The great thing about our faculty is that, and we're a small school and we definitely have graduate programs, but our undergrads are not overlooked at all. So undergraduates can be working alongside graduate students or working alongside faculty. So it's a very collegial environment where no one is thought to be like, you're just going to grab your coffee. Everyone's super involved in what really matters. So CIRCA, like I said, we're kind of restructuring. So I can't say exactly how 2016 will go, but in the past, it's been open to everyone. So it hasn't been an application, it's just been a registration process. So freshmen on to seniors can present. There's no limit on that. So last year, and it's been pretty consistent, we've had about between like 60 to 65, 70 projects, and the projects can either be like a solo effort or they can be a group. So the student number is usually around 100, a little bit more. And it's just such a great event. It's probably my favorite part of my job because on that day, the energy level is just like amazing. I mean, people are so excited. And when I say people, I mean the students themselves and the community members. I mean, the students are just glowing because they're really proud of what they've done, and then people coming to talk to them are just so blown away. So, just their confidence level goes through the roof. And it's just really amazing. I encourage anyone who wants to come. It's open to everyone. There's no fee or anything like that. So we welcome everyone to see what our students are doing.
Can I add something? You made this fun joke about no student will be getting coffee, right? And I think that that's so appropriate though, because our faculty on this campus, they're full tenured faculty in most cases, and the people that we're working with, they don't have much more that they need to achieve for themselves. And so they really turn that energy toward our students. I've seen students who've had first authorship on papers who are presenting as the lead, PI on a project. And so those experiences, it's not as though you're kind of down the line and just, shuffling papers. You're really taking that ownership. And it's amazing for skill building and for your resume and for, really knowing what direction you want to take in life.
It really goes along with the mission of Rutgers University Camden. It's about being that nurturing place, a nurturing institution for our student body here. We have about 3 minutes left. So if each of you could talk about, you mentioned the grant funding and support for students. Can you talk about what today, Giving Day, means to the Circle program and to our current students, and how these funds and our donors and supporters out there support directly the students doing research?
Sure. I can go back to those 2 students who went to Australia. I mean, that's a huge expense. And a lot of our students, are working jobs, a lot of times full-time jobs, have full-time class loads. So their burden is huge, and they're still not managing to accomplish this amazing thing. So I think to support these students is so very important, to give them this opportunity because they've worked so hard. If we can just help them kind of get over that hump and to do these amazing things, what more could you ask for, right? And they're going on to do amazing things as well. I know students who have come through undergraduate here, received grant funding, have gone to these conferences, presented, gotten awards, and are going on to, are now at Princeton University getting their PhD. What more could you ask for? So I think it's really important. I definitely encourage everyone to take advantage of today.
And Laura, I know you've received scholarship funds and support for your research. In the last couple of seconds we have left, why is it important to give back?
So important.
Why do you give back?
I think actually I'd like to speak more about our current students today. I think that, we see so much about who our students are, and they work so hard, like Julie said, not only in their academics, but in their lives. They're all working on campus and across, different places. So the money that we can raise for our students to help, offset these costs with scholarships really can make the difference in what they can devote to their academics and how involved in the Rutgers community they can be now as undergraduates, and then we know that they'll be involved alums later down the line. In our unit, we collect money and we have scholarships thanks to Friends of the Honors College. And we just recently sent 3 students to a conference just to go and experience it. We're sending students to present in April to another conference. So we want to be able to support our students, offset of the dean's office and every other unit on campus as well.
Great. Thank you so much, Laura and Julie. It's a wonderful program, student research here at Rutgers Camden. And I think we are beaming back up to New Brunswick with Will Jones. So thank you.
Will, you're up.
All right, we are back here at Rutgers University, New Brunswick, ready for our next presenters. We have the Cancer Institute of New Jersey, who are doing some amazing things. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to them for their introductions and their interview.
You're on your live. Go.
Hi, I'm Joan Russo. I am the Chief Development Officer at the Rutgers Cancer Institute of New Jersey. I'm here with Bob DePaola, who is the Director of the Cancer Institute and also the Vice Chancellor for Cancer Programs for all of RBHS. And we just want to talk to you a little bit about what the Cancer Institute is and why it's important to the state of New Jersey. So let's start with the basics, Dr. DePaola. What is the Cancer Institute?
Sure. No. And I appreciate the opportunity to kind of fill everybody in terms of what the Cancer Institute is for New Jersey and certainly for Rutgers and for the patients throughout our state. The Rutgers Cancer Institute is the state's only National Cancer Institute designated center. And what that means when NCI, or the National Cancer Institute, designates a center is they designate centers for achieving a level of excellence where research and clinical trials are actually brought to patients so that patients have the best state-of-the-art opportunities in terms of clinical trials, cutting-edge new therapies, prevention strategies, et cetera. And the National Cancer Institute has only designated 45 such centers throughout the U.S. This is the only one in New Jersey.
We are housed here within Rutgers, and it's benefited the Cancer Institute greatly, and the patients that come to the Cancer Institute as being part of Rutgers in a number of different ways. And I can share with you, some of those opportunities that patients have when they come to the Cancer Institute. But the Cancer Institute consists of at least research activities in the form of basic science discoveries. So we have basic science laboratories looking at new strategies in efforts to cure cancer, to slow it down, and discover new drugs and agents capable of adding to standard therapies. We also have multidisciplinary centers within the center. So when patients come in, they're not seen by just general oncology expertise. They're actually seen by experts in the area most relevant to them. We have a lung cancer center, we have a breast cancer center, we have a prostate cancer center with experts in each of those areas. Within any of the centers, we have medical oncology, surgery, radiation, all there as part of a team. So when patients come in, they really are greeted by a team of experts in all different specialties. And in addition to that, as a significant part of the team is the research component. So in each of those centers within the center, we have clinical trials available to patients. We have a portfolio of over 250 clinical trials at any one time that patients could have access to. And it's really the capacity of bringing many different clinical trials and research opportunities to patients that even allows for the National Cancer Institute designation.
What is a clinical trial and why is it important?
So the clinical trial, right now, and I think this is important to know that when we look at cancer overall, and if you were to ask the question of, how well are we doing, in the war against cancer, if we look back 30 to 40 years ago, we would say that half of the patients that are diagnosed with cancer had available to them therapies that would lead to what we would consider cure, meaning they're in remission and it doesn't come back after 5 years. If you now bring that forward and you look today, we're actually near 70% of patients that would have that definition of cure. But there's always things that we want to do that improve therapies, that improve the quality of life of cancer survivors. And we certainly want to improve the cure rate for the 30% or so where there is not a standard therapy that would lead necessarily to a cure. So when we look at clinical trials, those are opportunities for patients where they may not have as optimal a standard option to have newer options. If you look at the news at any one time, you'll see many different newscasts of new drugs that are approved or new drugs that and opportunities that have been proven in various ways in clinical trials to have effectiveness. Really, an NCI designated center is a hub of that type of activity where those clinical trials are being conducted on a regular basis. And so what it's really providing is opportunities for those newer agents, those newer strategies, when standard therapy may not be as optimal. I could tell you, Joan, one of the examples that I think is very important these days, it's really changing the way we think about care for cancer patients, is what we call precision medicine. And we have launched a precision medicine initiative. And when patients come in now for care and even consideration of standard therapies or clinical trials, we are often offering the opportunity to do genetic analysis of their tumors, so that by doing gene sequencing and a genomic analysis of their cancer, we can actually identify the genes that are abnormal in these patients that are causing their particular individual cancer to be a cancer. What that's leading us to be able to do is then target therapies more specific to the individual, and hopefully leading to a better outcome for that particular individual. And we have what we even call a molecular tumor board, where patients coming in not only can have their tumors analyzed in this way, this detailed way with doing gene sequencing, but a large team of experts then meets in a board fashion around a board table with experts on the laboratory end, meaning understanding the genes, and experts on the clinical research end, those experts in the center who understand what new drugs are available in clinical trials, and the team formulates a best recommendation for that particular individual patient. So it helps the patient have access to a very large team of experts in a very formal setting where expertise is available in many different disciplines. And we look at precision medicine as one multidisciplinary approach to cancer care. So a patient's team is not only the physicians and physicians expert in different areas, so surgery, radiation, or medical oncology, but this very large team that's expert in even the gene analysis of their tumors, the bioinformatics experts that can help do the analysis, and the experts who design many of these new clinical trials.
Is there anywhere else in the state people can go have that done?
Yeah, there is nowhere else in the state that has this group and this large of a team that includes experts both on the really strong science end of the spectrum, understanding the genetic changes, for instance, to the clinical end of the spectrum, and this is the nature of an NCI designated cancer center. And many years ago, it was very important to the state that there be such a center. The state has been very supportive, and obviously, being part of Rutgers has actually enhanced the opportunities for patients, because across Rutgers there's all kinds of expertise on the technology end that we're able to embrace. So, for instance, we've now partnered with the Genetics Institute, where they can help do some of the gene sequencing. We've partnered in different ways with the School of Engineering to help with imaging research, because imaging is a very important part of patient care. We're now partnering with the School of Public Health and the various medical schools. So you can leverage the technology and expertise across a large campus and really bring that to patient care. We're here for patients. We're a state resource. And that we really do look throughout the state to see how we can, shore up areas that are needed in terms of new clinical trials. When we identify an area where there's high incidence in the state, or a concern, we try to pay attention to that so that we would have the expertise available to the state of New Jersey. One of the other important areas I'll mention too is we span all ages. We have a number of the adult centers, like I mentioned, a breast cancer center, or a prostate cancer center, a lung cancer center, and so on. We also have a pediatric hematology oncology center, where again they're experts in children's cancers. And I'll give one example that there was a patient, and this is actually now even published, a patient, a 12-year-old girl, who was seen at our pediatric oncology center within the center. She had a tumor that arose out of her brain originally, and had received a number of different chemotherapy regimens because the disease had spread. And her pediatric oncologists were thinking about other options, but there were no real other standard options. So she enrolled in the Molecular Tumor Board initiative I mentioned earlier. We did a genomic analysis, so looked at the genes that were abnormal in her particular tumor, and found 3 genes that were abnormal, and one of them is a gene that is commonly abnormal in adult melanoma, adult skin cancer. And as it turns out, there is a drug available for treatment when that gene is abnormal in adult skin cancer, and we were able to get that drug for her, even though she did not have melanoma. And no one would have known that she had an opportunity like this without actually doing this type of technology and diagnostic analysis.
That's exciting. What other exciting research and visionary impact across the world do you think the Cancer Institute is making?
So there are a number of efforts. The various areas of research that we have include newer therapies in areas like vaccine therapies. So one of the things that have been really cutting edge nationally and even globally is the development of new vaccine and immune modulation approaches. And we have now a whole program in that, and have recruited an expert to lead that program. And as it turns out, even the leader of that program has been co-leader of a pivotal clinical trial that got one of those vaccines approved recently, called TVEC. So when you look at some of the new opportunities, it's not only on the diagnostic end and large team of experts, but we have many of our researchers really leading efforts that are leading to approvals of many of these new therapies. And I think that the vaccine and immune therapies really highlights an example of an area that we have been cutting edge and have led to national efforts that are helping others really throughout the U.S. And even globally. What we could say is that many of the physicians that patients are seeing in the Rutgers Cancer Institute are the physicians that are also cutting edge and creating the publications and new therapies that are leading to changes in standard of care. We have a ways to go, so all the support we get from the Rutgers community and the state of New Jersey is very important. For us to continue to work as a resourcing for New Jersey and the patients in New Jersey.
Well, I'm happy to tell you that we are leading the leaderboard in gifts today on Giving Day.
I didn't know there was a leaderboard.
There's a leaderboard amongst all the RBHS schools, and we are winning.
Yeah, well, this is good. So if we can win in regards to the war against cancer, that's a real win. That is a real win. So thank you all.
Thanks.
Live transition to Will.
Okay.
So if you're watching this live stream right now, just close your eyes and pretend that you're not seeing any of this transition. Just to give you an update right now, we are currently at a total of $659,000 and some change. And that's made up of gifts from 3,196 people. So that's amazing. Just so you know, if you go to our website at givingday.rutgers.edu and go underneath the challenges section, you can see how different groups who are affiliated with Rutgers University are doing as far as the number of gifts overall. So for example, if you're an alum from the 1990s, definitely log in soon and give money to any Rutgers cause that that you feel that will benefit your favorite, charity or cause. We're going to go ahead and turn it over to our friends at Newark, who are going to lead a discussion on the success of a minority biomedical research support program. So go ahead, Newark.
Hang on a second. You guys need to unmute.
Newark, can you unmute for us so we can hear you, please?
Hi, I'm Professor Alex Rodriguez, and I am a member of the MBRS program. I am also a graduate of the MBRS program in 2002 with a PhD.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dan Denos. I am a graduate student here at Rutgers Newark. My last semester completed my master's in public administration.
So we're here to talk to you about one of our pioneering outreach programs, the MBRS program. And this is a science, technology, engineering, and math outreach program that targets underrepresented minority students at the graduate level, the undergraduate level, and the master's level. And we have had over 170 graduates of the program in the 30 years that it's been on campus.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. So my experience as a graduate student, I've been able to work on different projects with the dean, Dr. Kyle Farnbury. As a graduate student from Newark, New Jersey, I've been fortunate enough to work in my community. But in the level of my master's degree, I've been more able to focus on more so on a larger scale. Last summer, I was fortunate enough to go on a fellowship opportunity to South Africa, Cape Town, South Africa, where my research focus was in STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and math. I worked locally within the townships there, where we're trying to figure out what are the strengths of the STEM education, what are the limitations in the STEM education in South Africa. And it was a life-changing experience for me, information and knowledge that I felt would definitely be able to impact our local communities here in Newark, and it's just been an amazing opportunity so far.
Absolutely, and one of the things that we hope that these outreach programs are able to do is we're hoping to directly address income inequality that is generated by having people who are from lower levels of the economic rungs to be able to get an education in science, technology, and engineering and math, and be able to move forward with innovations that will drive new healthcare discoveries and also directly impact the communities that these people are coming from, which is Newark.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, when you think of Newark as a largest city within the state of New Jersey, when you think of all the different ethnicities, you see that the only way for us to accomplish this goal is collectively, right? And Rutgers Newark has been an institution grounded within the city for a very long time. A lot of graduates been able to pour inside of communities here in my city that I love, Newark, New Jersey. But when you also understand the local level and the global level, you understand in order to make a global impact, you also have to make a local impact. And in South Africa, where you understand a lot of these statistics where, unfortunately, some of the lowest performing levels in the world in terms of science and math, you have to find ways to combat that. And I think Rutgers Newark has been doing a phenomenal job trying to change the scale locally, but also globally, right? Because we're all in this together. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think that one of the big issues with that local aspect of this is that many times there are healthcare disparities for certain communities that are not addressed at the local level because the people who are getting the doctorates and the people that are in the position to be decision makers and gatekeepers are often not from the communities that are affected by a number of these different types of healthcare problems. And so many things get overlooked. And so one of the things that we were really excited about with the MBRS is that a large number of the graduates go directly to work on problems right in their own communities.
Yeah, that's so important. You know, I'm speaking from a student perspective, and I remember taking a strategic planning course and the importance of having the whole community part of the initiative. Not so much the top-down approach, but more so from the grass approach, right, the grassroots approach. So when you have someone who's coming from the community, right, understanding the value and the importance of coming back to serve their community, right, there's more so of a connection on making a larger impact, right? There's more so a relationship between, you know, student, teacher and student, community stakeholders, professors, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that's really exciting right now is that we're currently developing outreach programs right into all of the Newark school systems.
That's true, that's true.
We're interfacing with the Bolden Center to be able to give after-school tutoring to students in science, technology, engineering, and math. Yeah. We're also working directly with some of the charter schools to reach directly to the young students to try to create a pipeline from the local schools to our campus so that we can really become that anchor institution that we have always been, but we want to really solidify that as our role in this institution.
Yeah, and you know, you use the key word on the anchor institution. You know, what does anchor mean? Right, to be able to have a foundation that's strong enough where people can build upon. Right, you know, and Rutgers Newark has been doing that for a very long time. With the Bolden Center, you know, I've been fortunate enough to be able to work on a project with Dr. Keena Perry over at the graduate school, and seeing, you know, the possibilities are endless for the children here in Newark because of what we're dedicated to do. If we can close that gap, right, increase the graduation rate in terms of the importance of STEM education, right, we can change lives, generations, you know.
Absolutely, and I think one of the things is that we've already established good models of programs that work. But what we need to do is expand those models to encompass a greater number of students and a greater number of stakeholders and a greater number of people in the community. And I think that's one of the areas that Rutgers Newark is uniquely situated to do and take advantage of in a very immediate sort of time frame.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I'm just so thankful to be a student here at Rutgers Newark. You know, one, I'm from Newark. I'm from the West Ward. Two, I've always seen, you know, Rutgers University in the backdrop. You know, as a little kid taking a bus. You know, Broad Market, you know, streets that's familiar with many of us. And to be able to reach this level, to receive a master's degree from a university that I think has been making an impact for a very, very long time, I'm just honored to be here, be honored to sit next to you as well, you know.
As I am as a whole.
Yeah. You know, but I just think it's important to understand, you know, Giving Day is also a day of service.
Absolutely.
Right. And although, you know, there may be monetary donations in terms of people to understand what Giving Day is about, but Giving Day is, you know, is all year round.
Yep.
Right. To be able to serve one's community.
Yeah.
Right?
And I also want to add that we want to sort of build on the long history of Rutgers Newark as a diversity center for Newark, going all the way back to the Boyden sit-ins. Was it Boyden or it was one of the administrative building sit-ins that was here right after the riots. So, I mean, it's an important thing to take that history. And excuse me, it was Conklin Hall. Thank you. It was Conklin Hall sit-ins, and it's important for us to remember that history and to build on it. And I think that we have a very good reputation within the city itself. And I think that the students who come here are very excited about the level of the science and technology that they're exposed to. And I think that one of the things that these programs allow us to do is to really highlight those things on a national and international level.
That's true. That's true. You know, Professor, I've been able to meet with you outside of, you know, the setting, and I remember hearing your story, which was, you know, truly inspiring. You know, the fact that you were a student here and now you reached one of the highest levels in terms of academia. Could you just tell us, well, at least tell me, you know, why are you so passionate about this?
Well, actually, I think one of the things that I really loved about this campus was after I graduated from Yale University, I came here and I was taken aback at the immense diversity, but also the high-level technical education I received. And that allowed me to go and leave to the Albert Einstein College of Medicine as a postdoctoral fellow and develop some really interesting methodology, some of which was cited in the Nobel lecture. But the thing that was most important about all of that to me was when I was looking for a place to come back and work, it was more important to me to work with the people like myself than it was for me to take advantage of that sort of elite education, right? And so coming back here, I felt like I was able to take that elite education that I received here and other places and go right back to the community. And that's why I'm so excited about it, because I see myself as actually paying it forward.
Right.
So that investment that people made in me that allowed me to get those opportunities, I felt it was my responsibility to come back to the community and pass that on to other people and allow them that opportunity.
Right.
And that's why I'm so engaged with the outreach programs, because I feel like this is a key aspect of what we really need in the United States as a whole, which is to provide an opportunity for everybody who's willing to work for it to really have an opportunity to make the American dream true, which is you get your education, you produce something that's really great, and you get to live the life of a free, valuable member of society. And
Right.
so that was sort of why I'm so excited about being back.
Right, right. And you know, another key word, you mentioned anchor institution before, but another word that you used just now was opportunity. And my understanding of opportunity is that not everyone is given the same chance.
Oh, absolutely not.
So to me, I think it's different when you're able to say this is the playing field and everyone is going to get the same opportunity.
Yes.
If someone decides not to take advantage of that opportunity, then I won't hold them on the same accountability. But if someone hasn't been given a chance, right, I feel then we have failed, right? So the idea that you've been able to go receive your education, you know, from Rutgers, but also elsewhere, and to come back to, you know, serve Rutgers University, but also the community, I think that's valuable, and you know, and I applaud you on that.
Yeah, and so I think one of the things that along those lines that we're really, what I'm trying to develop is, having been in the high school system here, like you said, the opportunities are not equal. The technical equipment and the scientific access to scientific education is a little bit delayed in the Newark school system. So I think that one of the important issues, and one of the things I'm trying to work on, is leveling that playing field by providing that infrastructure support in both a real, tangible, and also a virtual way, so that we can reach into those students and they can have access to the same things that other students have in the immediate suburban areas that we have around here.
That's right. That's right. Access. You know, it's all about access. How do we increase the door, open the door, let more people through? No, I think that's amazing. No, I'm excited for what's going to happen in Newark.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of different projects that the graduate school's been working on that you've been working on as well.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to see, you know, what's going to happen within, you know, this year, the next years. What's going to happen to some of the students who are interested in applying, you know, for Rutgers University. But I think it's going to be a great deal of, you know, people really, really dedicated on making a difference.
Yeah, and I think that one of the things that I'm excited about is the recent Chancellor Sea Grant program, which is allowing us to develop programs that work right in the community. That the idea of being the anchor institution is not just lip service here. We really want to work with our community partners, and so these programs allow us to go in and directly work with students, faculty members, teachers, and all of that to really take advantage of the unique geography of Newark being right in the middle of all of the access that we have in northern Jersey. And one of the things that we often don't really point out is that we have the pharmaceutical capital of the world is in New Jersey, and we have the opportunity to train that workforce and really be an economic engine for the state as well as the local municipalities. And I think that that's one of the issues that we could expand and develop better.
Yeah. So as a student, you know, on my way out the door, I'm soon going to become an alumni.
Yes.
Right. So what's the importance of me graduating and staying connected to Rutgers University?
I think it's very important. I think, and one of the things that one of the great assets that we have as a university is that we have such a large group of alumni that are so prestigious from all areas that we really have the ability to interface with leaders at every level. And so one of the things that we should really emphasize is how do we bring those leaders to our campus and bring the stakeholders with us and have them meet here and use this geography where we're in the middle of everything to be able to drive the STEM mission forward and make New Jersey, you know, the science and technology hub of the United States.
Yeah, I think that's amazing, and that's awesome. Any words of advice for me, you know, to try to improve my service within the city of Newark?
Well, I think that, you know, you already obviously are really into the outreach aspect of these things, and just, you know, always remember the community you came from. You know, as you get older in your career, things tend to overwhelm you with your responsibilities, and it's often very easy to forget that, you know, the community is why we're here in the first place. We're here to educate. We're here to help. We're here to be mentors. And as an alumni, you know, you can participate in many ways. You can be a mentor. You can be a virtual mentor. You can come back to campus for campus events. You know, you can lead by example. Be the next great, you know, leader of your field. So that's what we're excited about here.
Man, well, thank you for the advice. For sure, you know, I want to be able to continue doing what I'm doing in Newark. I appreciate, you know, your words. You know, again, you know, I remember us having a conversation before and what you've been able to pour into me as a young leader, as a young man of color, and you've been able to do a lot within a short time frame. And even with the College Tour, when, you know, I brought a young person to high school and you were able to meet with them and how enthused you were to pour into them, you know, and I think that's what it's all about, right? Building the next
I would
generation.
also agree. That is definitely what it's all about. We want to thank our friends at Newark for all of their insight today. It seems like an amazing program, an amazing experience. You guys seem really passionate about the programs that you're in, and I want to thank you both for not only giving back, not just today, but, you know, giving back while here at Rutgers as well. It's really great to do. I also just want to give everyone a quick update on some of the numbers that we have just in. Currently, we have raised about almost $665,000 from 3,259 individual donors. So what that means is in the last 20 minutes or so, 63 new gifts came in, totaling about $5,500. So definitely keep the gifts coming in. I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to our friends at Camden to talk about the South Africa Study Program. Camden, if you can go ahead and unmute your microphone, we can go ahead and begin.
Okay, thank you, Will. We are back down in Camden. And what wonderful news on the progress that we're making on Giving Day today. It's wonderful. Thank you for everyone's support out there. So I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Carol Kaufman-Scarborough, who is one of our professors in the School of Business, and Anthony Mutanja and Roman Sharma, and they will speak about their experiences with the South Africa trip. But in the meantime, Dr. K.S. will lead the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. The South Africa program is something that I really enjoy talking about. It's a program that we started a little over 20 years ago to give our students the experience to travel to another country, another market, and to learn the history of that country, the culture of the country, and to really experience it firsthand. I have two students with me today that I'll be introducing in another minute or so, who've gone to South Africa to really learn their experiences. We crafted this program largely in terms of our students at the Camden campus, many of whom, if not most, are employed full or part-time. They are very busy as campus leaders. They're quite busy in terms of the overall culture of the campus as well as throughout South Jersey. And in order to travel overseas, for many of them, it's not possible to take an entire semester. And so the study program was crafted in a way that we spend our first couple of weeks in actually learning about the country, about businesses in the country, and then going there just before spring break and spending a very action-packed 10 days in both Cape Town and Johannesburg. And followed by our visits, we come back and analyze many of the companies that we visited. Several of them have opened their doors to us over the years. We've met many, many wonderful people. So while I've got the broad brush of having gone to South Africa on our study trip several times, many of our faculty also lead the program. But I think really the richer experiences we'll learn by talking with our students. So I'd like to ask them both to introduce themselves as well as tell you a bit about what they did when they were in South Africa. First, on my immediate left, is Anthony Matanga. So Anthony, why don't we start with you?
All right, well, my name is Anthony Matanga. I'm a senior now here at Rutgers Camden. And my experience with the Rutgers South Africa trip was a blessing, to say the least. Because I know I wanted to go on a program, but it took me over a year to save up the money to go. So when I did get the chance, I appreciated it that much more. And as far as the program, we got to analyze the different companies as well as the different aspects of culture, and I got to learn more about South Africa before we went, which made it that much easier when we did get there to actually understand what's going on, and just gave us that much more appreciation of the culture. Roman?
My name is Roman Sharma. I'm also a senior here at Rutgers Camden. Actually, my background, I'm originally from Russia, but I lived in India and Australia. So now I study here, absolutely love it. And the program gave me a great insight into Africa. It's one of those countries where you always want to go, but you don't really go. It's far, it's not easy to get to, there's a lot of barriers. So when I heard about the program, I was very excited. And the program, it was organized very well. We learned about the country ahead of time. And it was amazing to actually see how accurate things were between the classroom and what we saw in the country. We had meetings with different companies. We were in the boardrooms. We talked to CEOs, to executives. They told us the way things are. They didn't sugarcoat anything. Yes, they have some issues in Africa. They told us flat out what they are, how they do business. It's a huge, huge business experience. And then we went to Kruger Park. We saw the animals, the safari. Overall, it's a beautiful place, and it's a blessing that I got to visit.
So Anthony, I think I'd neglected to ask you a bit about your experience and where you're from and how you came to Rutgers Camden.
All right, well, I was born in Kenya, and I came to America when I was about 10. So I lived in Mount Holly since, and which is not too far from Camden. And I first started off by going to nursing school at BCC, which is Brunswick County College, and that wasn't really what I really wanted to do. And even when I transferred here, I came as a bio major, but with the guidance and the help with the counselors here at Rutgers Camden, as well as the business school, I got to choose the major that I really wanted to focus on, which was business management and marketing. And now I'm doing really great in it, and I'm loving it.
That's always great to hear. From my perspective, I see the South Africa program from the professor's point of view, which is really interesting to think about. It's how to take our students there and hopefully create an experience that they have enough background when they go, that they know what we're doing and why. And that's really been a challenge over the years. So we as a faculty rotate the program, and so that means that one person may lead it 1 year, someone else may lead it for the next year across a few years. Usually we'll do it for a couple of years in a row. We do have some standard books that we read. One of them is called Kafir Boy, and it's about the experiences of a young man who was growing up in the townships in South Africa and what it was like to be a child and see so much of the tension and the uprisings and actually live through that process. When we go then on the trip, we try to do a blend of looking at the historical background. So we go to Robben Island, where Nelson Mandela was imprisoned. We'll travel and have some formal sessions in Parliament where we learn about South African law. We actually go to climbing Table Mountain. I forget, did both of you climb Table Mountain? You did, and Table Mountain is a magnificent mountain in Cape Town. that the top of it looks just like a table, but the path up isn't quite that straight, is it?
No.
No, it's an all-day affair. And we traveled to Johannesburg as well. On the trips where I've gone, and again, we rotate the companies as well, but on my trips, we've gone to the largest supermarket retailer in South Africa, and that's called Pick n Pay. And we meet with several of the top executives, which is quite an experience to speak with the heads, don't you think? The people up at the top who are talking to us in terms of what do we think about a decision that they're going to make. Now, that's always astounded me, that we would have that sort of firsthand contact with people from Pepsi-Cola, people from advertising agencies, people from Pick n Pay, as well as from Vodacom, and a number of the large corporate entities who've given their time, who look forward to seeing us, and who spend the time telling us about the struggles that they've had and the decisions that they've made. Are there any experiences that stand out for either one of you, maybe both of you, in terms of your company visits?
A company visit. My standout company was Pick n Pay, because if you know South Africa in the apartheid era, it wasn't a really good time, but Pick n Pay was an innovator at the time, going against the grain and hiring the black South Africans while they were not being hired. So they were doing things that a lot of companies were not doing at the time. Even now with their sustainability, what they're doing with their distribution channels is amazing. They're giving people opportunities and chances to start viable businesses, and giving the opportunity so that they can buy from them, which is something, but it's something really good, and I appreciated that, and that was a standout for me.
For me, we visited a company called Yuppie Chef in Cape Town, and they're an online retailer, and they sell kitchen products. And I constantly work in a warehouse, so they showed us their warehouse and the setup that they have, and their setup was so much better. So when I came back, I actually started implementing some of what I saw there into my workplace, and everything worked out great. The efficiency went up, sales went up. Overall, it's a very, very good visit.
So you really see some practical applications then. We go to the port of Cape Town. There's a number of experiences outside the classroom, and we often hear that it's important to supplement what we do in the classroom with getting out into the real world. And what does that mean? Well, through the study trip, I know I've brought back many experiences and insights that wouldn't have been possible without having a trip like this. I know it's Giving Day today, Giving Tuesday, and so contributions to programs like this help our students that are able to travel to this country. It's a trip that we take great pride in. Over the years, we've had student participants from the School of Business. Generally, the law school participates, as well as the School of Nursing. Frequently, there are students from arts and sciences, as well as various social action groups. We do always, as a major component of the trip, have an outreach to a school that was adopted by the School of Business called Kalkstein Fontaine. And I'm sure you did that on your trip as well, that we go and visit with the children, we collect various school items for them, we take up collections so they actually can go and visit Table Mountain on their own. Many of them live just very, very close. In fact, you can see Table Mountain in the background of the school, but many haven't been able to afford actually traveling there. So we've tried to have an impact as well as traveling there and participating, so that we're trying to say thank you for the opportunity as well. John, how are we on time?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Anything that you're thinking we might also add?
I wanted to talk about the school. It was a life-changing experience for me. I was in 4 different school systems in Russia, India, Australia, and here. And when I went there and I saw how schools are in South Africa, oh my God, we collected supplies and I personally donated, and I was so happy that we brought in bags of pens, markers, everything. They really need supplies there, and it's amazing to see that kids want to learn, even though the country is rebuilding after the apartheid, and there's so many other things going on, but there's still kids in school learning.
Yeah, to me, Kalkstein Fontaine brought everything full circle. because as I mentioned, I was born in Kenya, so I was in a school system like that. So that kind of hit close to home, and just seeing the happiness in the kids' faces when we were there, and like they all wanted education, and that's what we were there for. We were learning from them as they were learning from us, brought everything full circle to me, and that was really important.
Yes, the school has an assembly for us every year, and when we come in, you can see the excitement. They just can't wait to sing for us. And here are children in great poverty holding education with such value who sing to us both in England as well as several other languages. The children are extremely caring, friendly, and loving. And like you said, they're kids. And so we usually take along some soccer balls for them to play, and we have a great time just engaging with them and learning about them as well as from them and from many of the wonderful people that we've met in this program.
And in the final minute, could you two talk about just your Rutgers Camden experience on campus outside of the South Africa trip? A minute each, and then Obia.
Okay. Well, my experience here has been a great one. I never really considered myself an academic person. You know, I floated through high school, but here I feel like I'm a part of the community. I'm involved in a lot of student activities here on campus. I'm part of the Business Leader Development Program, which gives you an opportunity to actually experience stuff outside of the classroom. And I'm also part of Toastmasters International here on campus. So I feel like I'm a part of campus. I feel like I'm a part of this university.
So Rutgers Camden, it's a very small campus. Everyone knows each other. It's very friendly. When I started here, I transferred in about a year ago. And I was a little concerned, you know, it's well, what do I expect? My last time when I was in school, that was in 2005 probably. And so I had a big break, and for me going back, yeah, I was very, very concerned, and I was very surprised. The professors are amazing, very knowledgeable, everyone's very friendly. I learned a great deal of knowledge, and the business program here is incredible.
Final parting words, Dr. Chaos.
I think that programs like this really help us to get to know our students, to really start to bridge that gap in terms of the practicalities of the real world, and also looking at the globalization and the importance of having a culturally diverse population. It's been a program that I too feel blessed and very grateful for, because it's enabled us to feel enriched in terms of education, and also, like you mentioned, the campus is small, and so the experience is very, very close. It's a good time to really look at the values that the campus has, as well as the contributions that we can make in building programs like this.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Chaos, Anthony, and Roman, for your thoughts in South Africa and your experiences here at Rutgers University Camden. We are signing off and shooting it back up north to Will. Thanks so much.
Thank you, and thank you for sharing with us about the amazing program that's going on there at Camden with the South African Study Program. I am excited because this next section is going to be all about entrepreneurship. And coming from a career services background, we know that it's so important for students who are not just trying to start their own business, but developing the skill sets they're going to need to be successful in the world of business. And so we're going to kind of shift over, but before I do that, I just want to announce that we have officially passed the $700,000 mark for Giving Day. A total of $702,000 was raised by 3,310 individual gifts. So certainly keep those gifts coming so we can keep that number going up to support valuable student programs here at Rutgers University. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little one-on-one session to talk a little bit more entrepreneurship here at Rutgers University. I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce yourself to our audience here, and we'll go from there.
Okay. My name is Lori Dars, and I'm an Associate Director in the New Ventures Group in the Office of Research Commercialization. And our group typically works with startup companies that come from Rutgers Technologies. But something new we've been doing over the past couple of years is working with student entrepreneurs. And as I was, talking offline with Will before, a lot of people think that the entrepreneurs are all business school students. And there certainly are a ton of entrepreneurs in our business school, and they're doing great things and are very successful. But what a lot of people may not realize is that we've had over 700 entrepreneurship minors that are from programs all over the university. And I'm very excited because we're going to have a few of our students with us today to talk about some of the exciting things that they do as they've just walked in the door right now.
Come on in, join
We're
us.
very excited to have them, and they do amazing programs. So let me get up and you guys have to introduce yourselves and
Absolutely.
talk about, so let me sneak out here.
Okay.
And talk
So
about
you
some
come
of
around this
the
way.
creative things that you're working on.
Great. So my name is Adam Rubenstein. I'm the president of the Rutgers Entrepreneurial Society, and I'll let these people here introduce themselves while they're settling in.
My name is Daniel Reggie. I'm the marketing chair at the Rutgers Entrepreneurial Society.
I'm Daniela Rizzuto. I'm on the events board at Rutgers Entrepreneurial Society.
Great. So I guess my first question for you is, what made you decide to join this particular society?
Okay, that's a good question. So when my partner Ian, he's not here today, and I were at the first Rutgers Entrepreneurial Society meeting freshman year, we knew right away that was something that we knew we wanted to be a part of, and something that we wanted to help grow at the university. Because at that point, the society really wasn't doing too well, and we just had a really intense drive to want to share the love of entrepreneurship that we had.
Yeah, the passion for it.
The passion, exactly, and spread that across the university.
About a year later, I randomly saw a flyer when I was a freshman that they were looking for members, and I really wanted to check it out because I always had a passion for entrepreneurship. I was selling T-shirts out of my mom's garage. Like I always wanted to do something in business. And then since then, we've kind of made this thing to the point where, when we do involvement fairs and everything, we're always telling kids if you just have a small idea, if you need to get some feedback on it or take it to a full company. We've had people, meet their founders and start a full-fledged company just from within our member group. And that's something super exciting to me that I don't think any other club is doing right now. It's we're kind of a unique way that we even run our e-board meetings like a startup would. We don't have a ton of formalities, but we work really hard, and that's kind of what we're excited about for the future.
Great, great.
I'm a new member this
Okay.
semester. I don't have as much experience as Adam or Dan, but I'm really interested in entrepreneurship. So I heard about Res, and I really wanted to get involved. So I did.
Right. Now, I know when I was an undergraduate student, I thought to myself, things like this, I don't have the resources to make it happen. What would you say to a student who maybe wants to start their own business or even learn how to write a business plan? What would you say to them about the resources available to them here at Rutgers University?
So I can kind of take that one just because when I first got here, I was in the same boat. I was like, I don't know where the resources are. I don't know where to find them. And since then, I've been bombarded with resources. That's something that RBS, Rutgers Business School, and even the Entrepreneurship Minor Program, headed by Alfred Blake, that guy's like a walking resource. So when I'm looking to start a company, the first thing you do is you want to take classes like Intro to Entrepreneurship, which me and her are in right now. And the whole semester, you're working on a business model canvas, which is pretty much like a thorough business plan that you have to make.
Okay.
And even if you can't take the classes, if you come out to our meetings, we can help you, use the same stuff that we applied in classes. And Rutgers itself, if you're a Rutgers student, there's so many amazing resources that aren't available to non-Rutgers students. Things like trademarking your business or registering your business with the IRS and things like that. They can walk you through it. There are discounts for it, buying a website, things like that where they can help you walk you through it. And that's kind of what we provide as far as resources are concerned.
And the cool thing about being part of Res is that it's a group of so many different majors. So some people are computer science, some people are management, some people are entrepreneurship. And it's a place where if you have an idea but not the resources to execute it, Res is a really good way to meet those people to help you make it happen.
So what are some of the ideas that you're currently working on? Or can you tell us as a confidential?
Absolutely not.
This conversation is trademarked.
You're good. Can't be really oops. So I'm currently working with actually a few Rutgers alumni out in Boulder, Colorado on a crowdfunding startup that has a twist because they actually enable people on the platform to get returns on their investment, although they don't say it's an investment.
Okay.
So that's one of the projects I'm working on.
I co-founded a messaging app with a few friends in Bloomington, Indiana, that go to the Kelley School of Business there, and we've just raised VC funding, so we've done pretty well. Again, I wouldn't say I'd be able in that position if it wasn't for RES, because I've had I gained a lot of confidence in the past 2 years where I felt like, my ideas can be heard. We have a ton of like pitch competitions and stuff where students can like make up a pitch on the spot and then like feel confident pitching it. That's kind of how these things start. And you said like, what kind of ideas? Come out to one of our pitch events and you'll see a kids pitching ridiculous ideas, but they're like, with feedback, they turn into like feasible businesses. And I think that's a lot of what we do is we turn this like, a lot of freshmen come in with these crazy ideas, but we kind of hone it in and say, all right, how can we make this realistic? And my hope, and I always tell my team this, is like, we hope that like every year we can put out like 15 startups, right? Like 15 really feasible ideas that our students are just super passionate about, so that when you ask that question next year, we'll have like 15 more answers.
Great.
I haven't had anything
Just
close
learn,
to
but that's
that.
okay.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine, because we actually have crafted events to help people like Daniela and others who are just really passionate about entrepreneurship but don't yet have a product to work on. So things like Idea Storm, which is specifically tailored to that. It's an idea brainstorming workshop where we have a design thinking section in the beginning, and then we sanction off each group of people so that they can properly develop ideas.
Great. Yeah. Well, coming from University Career Services, that's where I currently work. I know that employers are always interested in some of the skill sets that entrepreneurs can bring to the table. So even if you decide not to start your own business and instead work for a company like Google or something else, there's a lot of skill sets that you're developing through these student organizations.
Right, definitely.
And that's one of the things that we try to promote a lot, is that the student organizations here at Rutgers University are top notch. I mean, the types of experiences, the type of resources that you have access to, you really can't find in too many other places. And so that's one of the reasons why we're doing Rutgers Giving Day today, because you can actually give money directly to a student organization via our online form at giving.rutgers.edu. So you mentioned teaching people how to do a pitch.
Yeah.
You want to take 1 minute to kind of pitch Giving Day and why someone should give to a cause here? Put you on the spot here. Right there to the camera.
So kind of what we do is try to build really ambitious people with all they have is potential coming in here. And we want to send these kids out of here with like a really good confidence and belief in what they do. And a lot of that comes from resources and skills you learn. I was an intern over the summer, and kind of what I learned was that you have to be really good at a lot of different things. You can't just have your marketing degree and say, I'm going to be the best marketer. We really need people to be like good at 5 different things. And the way they learn those things is to, have pitch competitions. We have workshops that we really need funding for that can, teach people how to code, teach people user experience design, and even things like how to have confidence when you talk in front of investors. And that's something that I've learned a lot kind of naturally, but we hope that with your help, your donations, we can have more events. We can have trips to the city where we meet with venture capital firms that we've done before, but it's kind of been with our own dime. We'd love to have our more members that are coming in as freshmen to really be exposed to that.
Right. Exactly. Now, let me tell you, in the last couple of minutes that we've been here, we have now raised an additional $4,000 from 43 different individual gifts.
Wow.
The total number of money raised for Giving Day so far is $705,000. Well,
Wow.
give or take, more like 706. So we're doing
That's
really
awesome.
well. So keep the donations coming so you can support amazing organizations like yours. You are learning so much from these organizations, but also finding ways to give back to students as well. I want to go ahead and just ask one more question while we're at it in kind of like our wrap-up session.
Okay.
So let's go down the road here. If there's one thing about Rutgers that you love, that you want everyone to know, what would it be?
It would probably be diversity, and that's not just diversity in skin color. That's diversity in thought process and perspective. There's so many different types of people who think differently, and when they all come together and they integrate, it's beautiful.
I think like the ability for the school not to let anybody like fail. I screwed up a bunch of ideas my freshman year, and like the professors here, they were like, "You're not gonna fail. We're gonna get you better." Alfred, I can attest, like Alfred Blake, who runs Entrepreneurship Minor, even when you screw up a few times or you may not feel so good about yourself, he's like, we're going to get you better. We're going to get you better. And that's kind of an amazing thing about Rutgers that I'm sure is at other schools, but I feel like we have it the best here.
And I feel like, you have to learn from your mistakes.
Oh, 100%.
And the faculty and the staff here are really here to help you support that, and also each other as well.
community, definitely. Going with faculty, staff, students. You don't really know how many resources you have until you look for it and you find it and you pursue getting help. And you'd actually be surprised at how many people are willing to help you. You just have to extend your hand and people will come help you.
Right.
And
I
that's
know
really awesome.
a lot of folks at Rutgers University, when you look at a university that's this large, about 40,000 students, you might think that, oh, I'm a student, I might just be a number. But you have to think about those 40,000 students as a large network of potential resources for you. And I feel like you guys are definitely doing that. I'm glad that you had the opportunity to come in today. I'm glad that you guys have met each other and are doing amazing things for your student organization. And we appreciate your time.
Thank you
Thank you so much.
I really
Yes.
appreciate it.
While we are transitioning over into our next segment, I just want to again remind everyone that you can give online at Rutgers Giving Day. givingday.rutgers.edu. There's so many causes that you can give to. If you can think of any type of cause that you're really passionate about at Rutgers University, you can definitely find that cause on our website and give through that as well. So we have totally run out of time for this particular segment, but again, I want to thank you all for coming in.
Thank
And
you.
Thank you
don't
so
forget to
much.
stop by University Career Services and learn about some things we do as well.
Thank you so
Definitely.
much.
Thank
Really appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
So again, if you're watching the live stream right now, we're going to do what's called a live visual transition. So just close your eyes for about 1 minute as we set up the stage, the prompter here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
You can head over there. We'll get you settled.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I can't complain. I want to thank you for coming in today.
My pleasure.
We appreciate everything that you guys are doing at the Mellon Foundation. And I want to go ahead and give you the opportunity to introduce yourself to our audience and speak a little bit about your organization.
Sure. So my name is Jim Michelli, and I'm the Vice Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences here at Rutgers. I'm also a faculty member in the History Department. I've been at Rutgers since 1991. And so I really want to talk today about the Mellon Foundation and its relationship with Rutgers University, because it's been a great supporter of the university and a great supporter of the School of Arts and Sciences. And since this is Giving Day, I thought this would be a great topic to make people aware of, that we have this wonderful foundation that's been strongly supportive of Rutgers.
All right. Now, I am relatively new to Rutgers University. I've only been here for 3 years. And so this is the first time I've heard about the Mellon Foundation. Can you talk a little bit about what the foundation is and its strong connection to Rutgers?
Sure. So the Mellon Foundation is a philanthropic organization that was set up specifically to support work in the humanities and the arts. It goes back to the origins of the foundation go back to Paul Mellon, who was a banker in Pittsburgh, very successful businessman who was responsible for a lot of the industrial development of Western Pennsylvania. And he was also very committed to public service. And so towards the end of his life, he began to think much more about the kinds of causes that he wanted to support and where he wanted to put his money for future generations. And he decided that supporting the humanities and supporting the arts was really one of his key areas. And so he gave an initial gift to create the foundation, and his children then carried on that tradition. And the Mellon Foundation has become one of the biggest and wealthiest philanthropic foundations in the United States, with this special mission of supporting humanities and arts.
I think that's so key. I mean, we hear from employers a lot. Again, little plug for University Career Services, but we hear from employers a lot that what students are learning in the arts and humanities and the liberal arts areas as well is so key to their potential success in whatever job that they end up going into. I guess my question for you is, why has there been so much interest shown to Rutgers from the Mellon Foundation?
Well, I think that really there are two reasons that explain it. First is that Rutgers has a tremendously strong tradition in the humanities, and it's formed from the liberal arts colleges of Rutgers College, Douglas College, Livingston, and University College. And the humanities and humanistic learning has always been central to the ideal of the kind of education that we provided to students at Rutgers. And we've managed to develop over time a tremendous reputation in many humanistic areas. And so we have one of the strongest philosophy departments in the world. We're consistently ranked in the top 3 of philosophy departments. You take any Ivy League school or Oxford or Cambridge University, and we're right up there with them. We also have great strength in English and history, traditionally typically ranked in the top 20 departments in North America. So Rutgers was interested in us because they saw a strong partner. They saw a partner that already was making investments in these areas and really promoting their importance. The other thing that's interesting about the Mellon Foundation is that initially they were much more interested in supporting private universities because they felt that public universities had the support of state governments behind them, and so it really wasn't necessary for them to direct their interest towards the public and state universities. They felt that the private ones were the ones that needed the most support. But over the last 20 years or so, as states have been pulling back on their level of support for state universities, Mellon has realized that that some of the humanities programs that were well funded 20 or 30 years ago have begun to come into question. And so they felt that they had the opportunity to step into the breach and to help with that situation. And so they stepped up, and so Rutgers, not only as a university that has a great tradition in the humanities, but also as a big state public research university, came onto their radar screen, and they've been very, very helpful and supportive.
So what specific programs has the foundation supported so far at Rutgers?
Well, over the last 10 years or so, the Mellon Foundation has contributed close to $20 million to Rutgers University. Some of the money has gone into the Zimmerle Art Museum, because supporting art museums is part of the mission of the Mellon Foundation. Some of the money has gone to support an endowed chair at Rutgers Newark in memory of Clem Price, who was a very dearly beloved faculty member of the history department there, and a great advocate for Rutgers Newark and for the city of Newark. And the bulk of their funding has come to the School of Arts and Sciences in New Brunswick. And they've supported a series of different programs over the last 7 or 8 years. So one of the programs that they've supported has been to bring recent PhDs from other universities to campus for postdoc experience. So it gives them an opportunity to learn from the faculty at Rutgers. It gives students a chance to take a class with a new professor who's a newly minted PhD. And that program has been great. It's really injected a lot of energy into our humanities departments. They've also provided some really valuable funding for our graduate education programs. One of the things that's been really hard for Rutgers as state funding has declined is to continue to provide really high quality graduate programs. And graduate programs are essential for the well-being of the university. They conduct the research that faculty are really committed to. They serve in the classroom as teaching assistants, and they interact with students. They create a sense of intellectual vibrancy at the university. And the Mellon Foundation has been willing to invest money in helping Rutgers to support graduate students so that we can bring students here and be competitive financially with the forms of assistance that the wealthiest universities in the United States offer, so that the competition for the highest quality graduate students can be played out on the basis of where is the best place for a student to go and pursue their graduate studies. And we can take the fact that some universities are able to provide much more funding for these students off the table and say this is simply about where are the quality faculty and where are the quality programs. So that program has been tremendously valuable in helping us to sustain and beef up and build up our graduate programs.
Right. I know in University Career Services, we rely so much on our graduate student assistants. And I know we wouldn't be able to do that without being able to provide them with the support that they need to not only worry about their education, but also worry about making a living and all the other things that they have to juggle. So we're happy to hear that you guys are helping out with much of that as well.
Great.
So kind of putting myself in our viewers' shoes, they may be asking themselves, well, there's a Mellon Foundation, so why do you need additional support? So how would you respond to something like that?
Well, one of the things that the Mellon Foundation likes to do is they like to structure their grant support for universities in the form of matching grants. And so they want to see that the host institution has some skin in the game, and they're more willing to be generous to universities that they see are partners in raising funds to support the things that are really important. Because it's really easy for a foundation, to give the money, but they want to see, like, are we actually making a good investment of our philanthropic dollars? And one of the ways that they try to ensure that is to see that there's a lot of buy-in in the host institution. And so Mellon has done this in two particular ways. First of all, one of the things that they've done is they agreed to fund the creation of a named chair in the philosophy department. Where we were able to raise half the funds, and they agreed to match the funds that we raised to create this chair. So we now have the first named chair in our philosophy department, which is a little surprising because given the quality of our philosophy department, you think this might have happened a long time ago. But it's a recent development. So we have the Andrew W. Mellon Chair in Philosophy, and we were able to recruit a truly outstanding philosopher to come and hold that chair at Rutgers. But the key to the success of that was that Mellon contributed half the funds, and the university raised the other half of the funds to make it happen. Right now, the thing that we're really focused on is that they've done something very similar with their programs to support graduate education. So they have, for a number of years, they've been giving us money to do these kinds of enhancements to our stipends and fellowships for graduate students, and to provide funding for summer research projects. And they've decided that now they're happy to continue that, but they also want to, they've issued the challenge. Can we come up with some matching funds to make this happen? So right now we're in the middle of a campaign to try to raise funds for a specific grant that's targeted directly at supporting graduate students. And the terms of this grant are that Mellon agreed to provide us with $2 million in challenge funds if we could raise $3 million on our own. So we have a 3-to-2 match that for every $1.50 that we raise, Mellon will contribute $1. And what we're working towards is over the course, they've given us 3 years to raise this money. We're in the second year of this three-year period. And at the end of this 3-year period, if we actually rise to the occasion and raise enough money to take advantage of this entire challenge match that Mellon has given us, we'll have $2 million from Mellon. We'll have $3 million that we've raised internally. So we'll have an endowment of $5 million. And the beautiful thing about having an endowment as opposed to having recurring annual gifts from Mellon or grants from Mellon is that money is there in perpetuity then, and you can continue to draw on it, so that you can be reassured that graduate students years from now will continue to have access to higher levels of support thanks to the money that we've been raising through this challenge grant.
Right, that's amazing. So if our viewers wanted to give money to the cause to help with actually with this challenge, will they give it to School of Arts and Sciences? Okay.
Right. Yeah. So if you go to the website, Rutgers Giving Day, and you click on Rutgers New Brunswick, and School of Arts and Sciences is one of the drop downs, and then you have to designate that it's a gift to other. And in the other box, you put the Mellon matching grant for support, Mellon matching grant for graduate education.
Okay, so you heard that first here, folks. If you go onto our website at giving.rutgers.edu, go to the Rutgers University New Brunswick section underneath School of Arts and Sciences. There's going to be an other box there, and actually write in Mellon matching grant for graduate students. It's a great cause and will help a lot of students out, both here at Rutgers University, but then also overall with the graduate students who are gaining such valuable experiences for some of the work that they do.
So let me ask you a question. Is it possible that we could raise $3 million today to support this?
Yeah, I think anything is possible. Our current numbers right now, we are doing very well. We've met our goals, and now we're trying to get to the next level goal.
Great, that's great news.
And I think all the money that's going right now to School of Arts and Sciences and other causes right now will go a long way to helping out with so many different causes here at Rutgers. But this one sounds like a really great cause. And the fact that the Mellon Foundation is having this matching challenge means that for every dollar that's given, they're going to match it as well up to a certain amount. So I think that's an amazing, amazing opportunity for us to help out a lot of students here within the humanities.
Right.
I have one more question for you.
Okay.
How do you hope the university's relationship with Mellon will develop in the future?
I think that, I hope that we'll continue to have the same kind of healthy, friendly relations that we've had in the recent past. The Mellon Foundation has now indicated that they're particularly interested in humanities programs that have some kind of public engagement aspect. And so we're actually working really hard on this. We think that we've got this great faculty and they're internationally recognized, and they deal with issues that are really important for the welfare of humanity. They, deep questions about, how do you understand yourself and how do you make sense of the world around you and how do you connect things that are related to you to the world around you, issues of ethics and, medical ethics, for example. I mean, there's so many questions, so many issues where we see that the humanists at a great university like Rutgers have an opportunity to weigh in and help people understand the pressing issues of the day. And Mellon has now indicated that this is a priority for them, that this is what they really want to see humanists doing across the board. And I think that Rutgers is exactly situated. I mean, partly being in the great state of New Jersey, where there's so many cross currents here that are reflecting what's going on in the nation as a whole. So what I see is that we will continue to push this idea of public engagement for our humanists, and that if we're successful in that endeavor, then we'll be successful in continuing to get support from the Mellon Foundation.
Perfect. I like that word too, humanist. I have to use that more often. But Jim, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with us this
My pleasure.
morning. And remember, you can give to this great cause by going to givingday.rutgers.edu. Go to the Rutgers University New Brunswick section, and underneath School of Arts and Sciences, put in other and type in Mellon Foundation matching grant for graduate students, correct?
Correct.
And again, thank you for coming in today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's about time to do another quick update as far as our numbers here. So I'm going to refresh my phone here. Hopefully I have service. There we go. All right. So it looks like as of 5/14 today, we are at $709,000 from a total of 3,414 individual gifts. So certainly keep the gifts rolling, keep them coming in, because they're going to a lot of worthy causes right here at Rutgers University. Thank you. All right, so it looks like now we are going to kick it over to our friends back at Newark to talk about the newly improved Dana Library, which has recently expanded its iPad lending program and upgraded facilities. So Newark, are you there? Is your microphone on?
Yep, we're here.
We're going to turn it over to you. Thank you, guys.
Great. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Consuela Askew. I'm the director of Dana Library, and I have with me one of our librarians, Krista White.
I'm Krista White. I'm the digital humanities librarian on campus. So Consuela, should I talk about our services at Dana?
Yeah, we're going to
services.
15 and 15.
All right. So library instruction. We have about 9 librarians who just last year taught 268 classes to Rutgers undergraduate and graduate students. We taught them how to improve their research skills, including how to use the library catalog, as well as finding those peer-reviewed journal articles in our very complex but very important databases. And we also taught them how to evaluate sources they come up on their own when they're doing their own research. In those 268 classes, we had more than 6,000 students last year, but that's not the only kind of service we provide. We also do face-to-face service on the reference desk.
Ladies and gentlemen.
The reference desk is located on the first floor of the Dana Library in the same area as the computer lab, which Consuela is going to talk about in a few minutes. And what we do with the reference desk, it's manned from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Fridays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturdays, and 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Sundays. There is a reference librarian on duty during those hours to help students and faculty with their research questions. Last year, we answered more than 9,500 questions from Rutgers faculty and students, and we answered hundreds more when they stopped us in the hallways, called us on the phone, or sent emails to us. But in-person library instruction in the reference desk isn't the only thing we do.
But wait, there's more.
You can ask a librarian online via email. All you have to do is go to libraries.rutgers.edu. In the upper right-hand panel of the screen, you will see an Ask a Librarian link. You click on it, and an email will go out to a reference librarian on duty. You'll get an answer within 24 to 48 hours. It's usually much shorter than that, though. And if you have a technical problem, one of our technical services staff will answer that question for you. So you have 24/7 access to someone via email, but
if that wasn't
enough, you can chat with a librarian live. We offer this service from the same panel on the Rutgers Library's homepage as Ask a Librarian, Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., Monday through Thursday. You can chat with an actual librarian, not a robot, to get your research questions answered. And then on Sundays, we do it again from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. We answered more than 3,000 questions via chat last year, and students really love this service. I've gotten nothing but positive feedback from students who chat with me whenever I'm on duty. Last but not least in the services department is our new SWANK database.
Save your $1.50, folks.
That's right. SWANK is an online database of first-run feature films that the library subscribes to. Now, professors choose these films. We get up to 250 titles every year, and those revolve depending on what professors want to use for their classes. But if you go onto the Rutgers Library site, in that red bar, choose Find, Indexes and Databases. Then there'll be a bar once that pops up with the letters of the alphabet. Click S for SWANK. SWANK's the last link there. Click on that. You can watch these first-run Hollywood films absolutely free of charge anywhere you have an internet connection. They do revolve out every year, so don't expect the same movies to be there every year. Those are the highlights of our services. But
you forgot to give them titles.
Titles, of course. So this year, professors have chosen really exciting titles like Brokeback Mountain. We have Crash on there now. 300's a perennial favorite. We also have some Indian art house films, Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. And we have some classic films as well, like James Dean and On the Waterfront. Programming. We also do a lot of programming, not just offering services. A couple of years ago, we started offering workshops for graduate students. Hopefully in the future, which Consuela will also be talking about later, we'll be expanding workshop outreach to undergraduate students. But in the last couple of years, we've been giving graduate student workshops on topics like how to use statistical software, such as Stata and SPSS, bibliographic software like RefWorks and EndNote, so that if you're writing that thesis or dissertation, you can keep track of all your references and create a bibliography automatically. How awesome is that? We also help people out using those really complex genetics databases, as well as some practical tools for finding jobs after you've graduated. And as the digital humanities librarian, I've been offering workshops for digital humanities tools like HistoryPin, which is a great social media service where you can upload photos, video, and audio, and then pin it to a map so that people know where that historical moment took place. And also Omeka, which is online, free-to-use digital exhibit software. We also do lots of fun stuff in the library. The first Thursday of every month, we offer the game night, co-sponsored by the Japanese Animation and Game Society undergraduate student group. So from 6 to 9 p.m., you can come and play board games, card games, video games on 42-inch screens. You can play tabletop role-playing games. If it's fun, we will play it. 6 to 9 p.m. in the Dana Room. And as a matter of fact, this Thursday, we'll have our last game night of the semester at 6 p.m. in the Dana Room on the 4th floor of the Dana Library. Popcorn is provided. But that's all I have to talk about, but it's not all Dana has to offer. Consuela, why don't you talk to us about technology?
Technology, folks. So I'm going to start with Computer Lab. Did you know that Dana has the largest computer lab on the Rutgers University Newark campus in collaboration with the Office of Instructional Technology? We have over 90 computers along with 6 printers, 1 in color that you can take advantage of. And because we have such long hours, as Krista just pointed out, we're accessible longer than any computer lab on campus. So come over and see us, folks.
You can print up until 11:45 p.m. most nights of the week.
Yes, along with, we have 2 collaborative multimedia rooms. And within these rooms, which you can check out, we have equipment available to you, including 1 laptop computer, 4 Apple desktop computers, which are equipped with multimedia creative software such as the Adobe Creative Suite. We have collaborative furniture, which includes like a smartboard, plug and play table along with a whiteboard. But that's not all. Boom. We even circulate iPads. 15 iPads are available for you to check out at the circulation desk. You can take these iPad 2s out of the library. You can take them with you to your class. You can take them with you back to your dorm room. You can take them with you to Robeson. You can take them with you to lunch, anywhere you want, as long as you have them back to the library when they're due. Don't want to pay those pesky fines and fees.
How often can they renew those iPads?
You can renew those iPads twice, so you will have that iPad up to 12 hours. But make sure you return them on time. Can't reiterate that enough.
Library closes at 12 midnight on most nights.
And I'm going to add this one in here. This is low-tech, high-tech. Or should I say low-tech, high-touch. We have mobile whiteboards available for you now. So these mobile whiteboards are available in the library. You can move them around the library. You can write on them. You can check out the dry erase markers and the dry erase erasers from the circulation desk. But if you want to work in a group and you're trying to work out those math formulas, here are those whiteboards that you can use so that you can work together in a group.
You can take them anywhere, right?
You can take them anywhere, as long as you can fit them in the elevator or if you can walk them up the stairs. So let's talk about
places
and spaces. So we talked a little bit about, or it was said about furniture. Well, unfortunately, we couldn't afford new furniture, so what we did was we rearranged our old furniture. I know we know about that. So what we did was try to maximize the furniture that we had, and many of you probably noticed that we put a lot of our new a lot of our old soft seating furniture down on the first floor. So we tried to highlight that soft seating furniture in our new silent study area, which is right outside of my office. And I tell you, Krista, a lot of people knock on my door trying to tell me to be quiet. So I know I'm pretty loud.
And so that area is like the quiet car of a train, right?
Exactly. And people are very much enforcing that silent study area. You'll also notice on the second floor, we've moved more of the tables up on the second floor so that you have more of a capability of working together with your friends and using your laptop computers to work together as a group. We've moved the study carrels out to the perimeter of the floor. So if you want to study in a more of a quiet space, you can move out towards the perimeter of the second floor. And hopefully the SAT serve as a barrier that provides you a little bit more privacy and a little bit more of a quiet space to study.
Great.
Study rooms. We got a lot of feedback from students about our group study rooms. And so coming spring 2016, you'll see some changes. One of which will be that our group study rooms will be placed on a room reservation system. We have been working with the Student Governing Association to do this. What this will mean for us as a campus is that these group study rooms will be placed on a reservation system. Then that means that students will have to check these rooms out. But on the flip side, it means that more people will have access to these rooms because it will level the playing field, so to speak. Also, we listened to our graduate students who said that they wanted a dedicated space to study in the library. So we now will have a room for our graduate students, and that again will come online in spring 2016. So
that's what we already do. What about the future?
The future. We're going to zip right through this because I'm getting the 3-minute mark. Yes, I just outed the moderator. So, what we'd like to do in the future, our iPad program has been very successful. We'd like to be able to circulate laptops so that our students will be able to do the same thing with laptops that they do with iPads. This means that you won't have to come into the computer lab and be stuck using computer lab or place bound. You can take the laptop back to your dorm. You can take it to class. You can take it to Robeson Center. You can take it to lunch. Wherever you need to use the laptop, you'll be able to take it with you. Again, as long as you have it back to the library when it's due. We're looking at creating a video seminar space. This means that you'll be able to connect with your faculty member, with another student who may be at another institution, out of state or out of the country. If you're working on collaborative projects, if you're working on presentations, if you're a dissertation student, you have a faculty member who's not going to be able to work with you on campus because they're out of the country for a semester, you're still able to communicate with them in some form or fashion. A research commons, looking at expanding our current computer laboratory so that you can work with your research project from A to Z. You get the assistance that you need, not only with the computer, but also with the writing, with the research. So from A to Z, you've got help.
Right, all in the same place.
All in the same place. So looking at plug and play. You've got the technology available to you in 2 rooms with our collaborative multimedia rooms, but let's take that technology outside of those rooms and put it in a common public area. Self-check kiosk. You've seen it in the grocery stores, ladies and gentlemen. Let's bring it to the library. We have a self-check kiosk where you can check out your own library books and you don't have to worry about standing in lines or waiting for that staff member to get to you.
Where can you find us?
I'll let you do the honors, Krista.
All right. You can follow us on Facebook at John Cotton Dana Library at Rutgers Newark, or on Twitter at RUNewark_Dana. Also, if you want to chat with a librarian or ask a librarian via email, go to libraries.rutgers.edu and you can get a hold of us there. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Don't be a stranger. If
Yeah.
you see something you like, please let us know.
We love feedback.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let us know what you want.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Again, my name is William Jones. I'm with University Career Services here helping out at Rutgers Giving Day. Just to give you a quick update, we are now at $715,000 raised from a total of 3,445 individual gifts. So really great numbers. Let's definitely keep it up. We are going to go dark for a couple of minutes while we switch over to our new the new Google Hangouts link. So just know when we return, you'll just need to refresh your web browser and you will see a new video link at that time. So again, we're going to go dark for a couple of minutes and we'll be back shortly.
I'm going to pass you to my colleague who can help me.